Forget the facts. Forget the logic. Forget everything that seems real. Just trust. Believe.
Hello and welcome back to day 2 of DKRTR Street Round 4. Today we're going to have tandems in Slapjā Ragana on a layout that is definitely not possible in real life, so we're doing it here on the sim, experimenting with the possibilities. With you here is me, Ed, and my brother Red.
Hello, hello.
Same as always, the usual team for now.
Exactly. Might not be here for the whole day, but I'll definitely be joining you for top 32 and hopefully top 16 as well. So yeah, let's see what we can get here.
Yeah, at least you're gonna see the first part of it. Probably gonna be watching the most interesting ending part of it on your drive home, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sucks that I won't be able to stay here for the whole night to see the finals and of course the top 4 and top 8 battles, but you know, of course gonna be following on my way back home as well.
Oh yeah. Well, what are you expecting to see today? Do you remember yesterday's qualifying? We had points all over the place. Drop zone starting from, what was it, 60?
Yeah, it was high 50s somewhere there.
Yeah, 59.
Yeah,
If I remember correctly, and it ended up on a 93. So we're gonna have a lot of interesting races today. Also, really glad to see that there's still quite a tough competition for the current overall points leader. We've got at the moment Armand Westman is with 257 points, leading the series at the moment, and Marco Rourke tailing him quite close with 230. And yeah, then we do have Anders Klembergs in the third in the overall standings with 207 points. Also quite close. You know, there is only this race and the next race left. So there is quite a big possibility to shift things up by scoring some points today. And basically most of our top 10, most of them have qualified for this race. So they're in it to win it for those really important, precious overall competition points.
Yeah, so for us right now, you just named the top 3, of course. For the rest of the top 10, we have Matīs Slācis, Juan Jorges, Ritums Jakobsons, Nikhil Vadekar, Vova Sezonov, Ian Johnson, and Karolis Bashinskas. So, you know, a lot of drivers from a lot of different countries as well representing. We got quite a few of our RT Riga drivers, actually, you know.
Oh, yeah.
All the way up there in the top 4. 3 of the top 4 currently RT Riga drivers, but already we have the first few people on the line. That's going to be Darius Ostreika versus Gvido Eglītis, our number 1 versus our number 32 qualifier, and off the line we go. So it's going to be Darius Ostreika in the lead. A nice flick initiation fills out the outside zone 1 very nicely. Gvido staying a bit further in the back.
Oh,
he crashes, and that's going to be a straighten from Gvido right there, an incomplete chase, while Darius Ostreika, I mean, look at that lead, textbook right off the bat, getting us started with a very, very solid lead right now into outside zone 5. Great job, still sticking in all the zones, and Gvido back in the chase as well, so still keeping it going as well, not giving up, and of course hoping to see what we can get on that second run as well. First run, not quite what Gvido wanted to see for himself right there, huh?
yeah, definitely an unlucky situation for Guido there, running off the track. He still gets back into it just for the fun of some side-to-side, door-to-door action.
I mean, anything could happen on the second one, right?
Oh yeah, of
We saw
course.
already, for example, yesterday in qualifying, Matīs, our 4th place in the standings currently, you know, in the first run, he messed up the initiation, so that could happen to everyone, you know, could happen to
Exactly,
Darius
yeah.
as well. So you definitely have to stay in it and, of course, keep it going until the end of the lap. So I respect that by Guido. Good job there, you know, getting back in the race as well. So let's see what he has in the lead now.
Well, I really would not expect a 93-point qualifying driver to do any mistakes, but there is some mistake. But the drivers have failed to start today. Maybe some of them don't see the starting lights.
Yeah, that might be an issue here. See, Darius taking some more distance, staying further back, so I'm gonna be trying to get that dive on the initiation immediately.
Yeah, let's
And
see.
Can we
And
get the start by Guido?
let's
There
go.
we go.
Okay, finally we're off the line. Let's see if Guido can keep it together in the lead. Nice flick and filling the outer zone 1 very well. Darius still very close to him on the chase. Guido looks way better on the lead now, not making any mistakes, filling outer zone 4 very nicely, transitioning over to outer zone 5. Darius still on his doors, keeping the proximity going. Does not want to get an active chase. I'm getting in my ear some info that this one is not going to count for some reason, a reason which we don't know yet, but yeah, Guido definitely looked stronger in the lead than he was in the chase. Okay, so this one is not going to count because he cannot see the semaphore, unfortunately. That is going to be a technicality fault for Guido here. So really unlucky in this, both with the starting light and with the crash on the first run. Interesting what's going on there, because if he managed to start in the qualifying yesterday, he also must have been going, judging by the starting light, but he had issues with it today.
Maybe. I mean, I don't really remember if he started off the starting light or not, but yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, for all our drivers also, remember that when you download the semaphore, try to go into single player and just try to activate it. It's one of the special keys. I forgot which one
extra
it was.
buttons,
Yeah,
extra
one of the
A or
buttons.
extra B.
Yeah, exactly. So just go in single player, try to activate it, see if the lights work for you. But yeah, let's check out the replay right now. So Darius in the lead and then Guido in the chase. The first run, the one that was valid, and looks like we're cutting back to the track. All right. Well, either way, looks like we're on the line. All right. So Guido in the lead, Darius in the chase, and can we get off the line this time? Waiting for Guido to start. Yeah, looks like we're having some troubles with the semaphore. All right there. So looks like we have the results up already. And that's going to be Darius Ostrejka winning this first battle. Unfortunately for Guido, because the troubles with the semaphore could not start up, and yeah, looks like he was given enough chances, but unfortunately not going to see the second run right there. So thank you, of course, Guido, for participating. Hope to see you on the next one as well, of course, and well, congratulations to Darius.
Yeah, definitely not the way you want to lose on a technicality and on a crash. You definitely would like to at least give a good attempt in both the lead and the chase run.
Well, they did have a second run, Unfortunately, it didn't count, but at least they did get that run in,
Exactly.
There we go. On the start line, we have our next driver, but looks like he's alone. Nikhil Wadakar. Yeah, I think it looks like he's not showing up yet. Fredrik Blokhus from Norway. I'm gonna be doing a solo run right here. So big flick initiation, great job. Filling out outside zone 1, and I'm gonna go to the inner clip. Beautiful job right there as well. A nice textbook run, just a solid buy run right there. Getting into all the zones, filling out outside zone 4 as well. Transitioning into outside zone 5, nice and snappy. Beautiful into the zone right off the bat as well. Great job by Fredrik right there, showing us a nice and solid lead run.
Oh yeah, really nice angle there. Not a lot of it, but he keeps it so consistent. He doesn't even correct it a tiny bit throughout all the way throughout the touch and go and the last outer zone. That was perfect. You can see that he's just warming up for the top 16 battle.
And there we go. Yep, that's gonna be Fredrik winning.
That's a really interesting start of the competition. If we continue at this pace, maybe you can get to work after it ends.
Oh yeah. So yeah, up next looks like we're going to be having Luciano versus Arkadiusz. So Luciano, our third qualifier from yesterday, had some great runs, of course, from Portugal, from Team Blind versus a Polish driver. Going to be E36 versus E46 battle right here, and we're already on the line. So it's going to be Luciano in the lead and Arkadiusz in the chase.
Yeah, let's see what Luciano can do versus Arkadiusz. And they're doing a nice flick initiation into outer zone 1. Arkadiusz immediately going to the door. Good proximity on him. Luciano transitioning over into outer zone 4 now. Wow, keeps it right on the money there. Arkadiusz right on his doors all the way through, now transitioning over to outer zone 5. Still on the doors, perfect run from both drivers. Fully filled all of the outer zones, and good angle and line matching from Arkadiusz in the chase there. Great through the outer zone. That was a lovely tandem. At least finally our first completed actual tandem run.
Yeah, great
of
job
the
by
day.
both drivers. And well, looking at the lead from Luciano, from what he has said himself about setting up the car, what he likes to do is find the perfect wheel speed that lets him drive the track near the limiter without compromising angle on speed. And I mean, if you look at this run right here and both his runs yesterday, of course you can see that he definitely has that down to a T. I mean, look at that, just a great run right there, no wavering whatsoever. Fills out the zones, a little bit of left foot brake right there to slow it down. Great job in the lead, and hey, of course, Arkadiusz, nice chase right there as well. And let's see what Arkadiusz can do in the lead now. Off the line we go with the E36 in the lead. Bit of a flick initiation right there. Doesn't quite fill out the first outside zone. Let's get up in the touch and go. And Luciano right there in the pocket already. And a very close transition. Great job by Luciano staying right in that pocket into outside zone 4. Arkadiusz, good job on the lead as well. And getting some great wheel-to-wheel action right now out into outside zone 5. Diving in. Beautiful job by Luciano. Just staying right in that pocket. And Arkadiusz providing a very solid lean line as well, slowing it down a bit now into outside zone 7. And there we go, across the line we go. What a run, great job by both drivers. Arkadiusz solid in the lead, of course, from our lower qualifying drivers, usually seeing them do a bit better in the lead right there. But that chase by Luciano, what was that? Look at that transition. Amazing job. Very aggressive. Love to see that right off the bat.
That's some great proximity right there.
Beautiful.
Awesome. The transition also perfectly timed. Immediately gets back in the pocket. Just doesn't leave any space on the table between them. A little bit of a correction there. If we see right here, he loses some angle and has to do some correction to get some more angle back. But still,
an amazing job by both drivers. Well done. And Arkadiusz right there flashing the lights, has the underglow as well. I really like the look of that car.
Is that an extra button that we just haven't discovered yet? Maybe it exists on the E46 as well.
His headlights and the underglow turned on and off at the same time. So I think there might be some way to make it work with the headlights.
I just haven't fiddled with the light buttons yet of the cars. I just don't have a button box or anything, and VR is a bit
look at that. Judges still considering their decision for this first battle, so not a close one right here. Not an easy call, even though that is of course one of our highest qualifying drivers right there in Luciano. So still deliberating on who to give this one to. And great job.
Well, I don't want to jinx it, but I kind of feel like Luciano's chase run was way more insanely looking than Arkadiusz.
I do agree. I mean, that proximity was just something else, But hey, judges need their time, Have to look at every battle seriously.
Because if you look at Arkadiusz's chase run, then he, on the other hand, was very consistent. He mimicked the line and angle just perfectly without any wavering whatsoever. He didn't have exactly the same amount of proximity, but it still was really close. He didn't lose any proximity throughout any of the run. He just kept it exactly the same.
And well, that is the big difference, between the top drivers and maybe some of the drivers who are not as comfortable yet in the chases as well. That proximity, getting right on the door, does definitely make a huge difference as well. But I mean, you can see Arkadiusz definitely getting there. Very solid runs. I mean,
also the mistake.
Can't wait to see more of him as well.
The mistake from Arkadiusz in outside zone 1, he did miss quite a lot of it. So that was probably not the best initiation he could have gotten. But that could also play a role in this.
Look, not biased at all, right? But Arkadiusz has said that if there was any place in the world where he could drift, it would be Latvia. I mean, he didn't even provide a reason, because we know there doesn't have to be a reason. It's Latvia, you know? So not biased at all, but I think who has my vote, right? So
we should hit him up on our next private day.
And there we go. Looks like we have our winner, and it's going to be Luciano moving on to the top 16. So congratulations, Luciano. Arkadiusz, thank you for participating on this one. Great job in that chase. Very well done. Hope to see more of you as well.
Finally our first actual duel. That's coming down to an actual judge's decision, not to a technicality.
And I mean, for the first clean battle, what a battle that was already, right off the bat as well. So great job by both drivers.
Pretty crazy. Can't wait to see what we're gonna see more tonight.
Exactly. And just in a few seconds, we should have our next drivers getting up to the line as well.
We don't know who they are yet, or do we?
Let's check it out. It's gonna be
Luis Trevino versus Vilius Prisgintas. So that's gonna be another fun one.
oh yeah. So let me check the standings real quick and see if either of those drivers are near the top as well. So
Maybe in the top 20. I don't see them in the top 20.
Luis right now in the 25th spot in the standings. So looking to gain some points as well. And I mean, if you're currently in the 25th spot, you could make up a lot of places with just one good finish right here. Could very easily make it even into the top 10, depending on how the rest of the drivers manage to do as well, you know?
Oh yeah. Sim competitions are notorious for drivers falling off on the later stages of a season, just because they think they're way too low in points and can't come back into it. So, but that is kind of, I think, a bit of a fallacy, because you still can gain some points, and if there's still 2 more races to go, including this one, until the end of the season, then you definitely can get up there. From his 75 points at the moment, he could. Imagine if he wins 2 races, that's how many points? I don't really know how many points you get for
a race for that stuff as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, I mean, a lot of chances to move up in the standings. So let's see. What else do we have coming up here? Up next after that's going to be Juan Jorges versus Rainer Vasiljev. So yeah, Juan Jorges, another one of our top drivers, currently ranked 6th. Yep, indeed, currently ranked 6th in the standings. So of course trying to get that podium spot in this one, you know, trying to go for the top 3, well, hopefully the win, to get himself solidified in the top 3 position in the standings as well. But that's going to be a really tough one, because there is a bit of a gap between him and the top 3. So if we compare, for example, Juan Jorges and Andres Kleinberg, who is right now 3rd in the standings, between them, not that much of a difference, less than 20 points. Well, 19 points to be more precise, the difference between both of them right now. So definitely could make that up, but for the first place, almost at 100 points right there, around like 80 point, 70 point difference. So difficult to make that one up, but definitely could still make it into the top 3 as well. And yeah, right now on the screen we see our qualifying scores. So yeah, just now we had our first few battles already. Up next, with the drivers that we have coming up, it's gonna be Luis, who qualified 9th with a 79, going up against Vilius, who qualified, where's he at? 24th with a 64. So 64, pretty solid score, you know, could expect, I would say, a pretty solid lead. I mean, pretty solid chase as well right there, if he can put down a 64, you know, something maybe similar to the last one is what I would expect in terms of the lead and chase, you know.
Yeah, could be interesting. I'm just wondering what is going on at the moment, because the drivers aren't stepping up to the line, and we're looking at an empty server at the moment, it looks like.
Indeed.
At least nobody's running it on it. We don't see the pit line. So might it be a possibility of a double no-show?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that happen.
Yeah, I haven't seen that happen either. That would be so funny if that happened.
Yeah.
If we have a double no-show. Oh, okay. We have a technical issue.
Okay, yeah, one of the judges having a technical difficulty, so yeah, we'll get that sorted out, and then we're gonna continue.
Okay, at least it's not a double no-show. At least we're not setting a world first in the tandems. I don't think that's ever seen before anywhere, not in real life, not in sim.
Probably has happened in some series, you know. I would say it's more likely for that to happen in real life, though, where you can actually have car issues.
Yeah.
But oh man, that would suck. Imagine both drivers having car issues and neither getting to move on because of that.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Or, well, technical issues, you know, could also happen to any of our drivers as well. And there we go. Looks like our drivers are heading onto the line. Both E36 drivers, Luis versus Vilius, Spain versus Lithuania. Luis going to be the first to lead. Vilius going to be in the chase.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Finally, we're up, lined up on the starting line and ready to go. Lights are green already, and they're off. Let's see what Lewis can do in the chase with a nice flick initiation. Vilius falling back a little bit, but gaining the ground up while they go through the inside clip. Now transitioning over to outside zone 3. Vilius gains the ground up, and Lewis looks like is perfect in the lead in the outside zone and transitioning over to the next one. Lewis still on the line, on the money, but Vilius right in his pocket, right next to him, almost rubbing tire on the door, keeping the proximity perfect, just not to touch him, not to do any distractions. And checks up a little bit at the end of outer zone 7. It was a really good lead run from Lewis all the way through, and a really good chase run from Vilius up until that last outside zone.
So here from Vilius at the start, we can see a little bit of wavering, getting in the zone like here as well. Just getting that proximity in there, just wavering just a bit to get up close. But then later on, about at this point, transitioning into outside zone 5, really just stabilizing himself, not really doing too many corrections in the chase anymore, and really solidifying a nice solid chase up until this point where he unfortunately brakes just a bit too much. A bit too much left foot brake is what it looked like to me, turning a bit too much in to the left side, and unfortunately couldn't finish on the door right there. But now for the second lap, it's going to be Vilius in the lead and Lewis in the chase. And let's see what we're gonna get from Vilius in the lead right now, initiating, missing the first outside zone, and a bit of a gap opening up right now in the chase as well, out into outside zone 3, and there we go. That's going to be a dive from Lewis right there. Vilius filling out outside zone 4, Lewis sacrificing a little bit of angle there at one point to get the proximity in, and right now he's right there in the pocket, and that's going to be contact on the wall by Vilius. Going to be straightening it out, and unfortunately not going to be getting to finish the lap. So let's get into the replay right away and let's see, was it an independent contact or did Lewis tap the door right there? I don't think there was any contact between the drivers. I think that might have been independent, but let's wait and see.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see what we have. So
it did look independent.
Close attention right here. And no contact whatsoever, just purely independent by Vilius. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate on that one.
Oh no, it looked like such a good chase run from him. It would have been a lovely upset to see.
Yeah, the proximity by Vilius was way better at the start.
Yeah,
I have to say, but unfortunately, overcooked it just a bit in that long wall ride. And there we go, Lewis, gonna be moving on to the top 16. So congratulations to you, Lewis. Thank you, Vilius.
Yeah, what an interesting race. Unfortunately, also ended in a crash, but it looked very promising from Lewis. No, not from Lewis, but from Vilius.
From Vilius as well, our 24th qualifier, and a great chase right there as well. At the start, we could see that he was closer. He was closer than Lewis, so unfortunate that the run ended how it did, but would have been interesting to see where the judging would have gone if they managed to finish that lap. Could have been our first upset.
Yeah, the lead run he started already looked pretty decent. He did miss quite a bit of outer zone 1, but other than that, it was a really solid lead run up until that point.
But now, of course, moving on into the next battle, it's going to be Juan Jorges versus Rainer Vasiliev. So, Juan Jorges,
you can pause a little bit on that because we've seen that we have 4 battles gone. So this is a server change now. Now we're getting the next group in, so it's going to take a few minutes for them to warm up. But that is true. The words you are saying are actually true. We're going to have Juan Jorges versus Rainer Vasiliev coming up for the next battle. It just means we have more time to yap about them and the competition in general. Also, chat, how are you doing tonight?
How are you liking the battles so far? I mean, that battle between, who was it? Between Luciano and Arkadiusz, that was some good stuff right there.
Oh yeah, also, sorry Nocturnal, there was a question posted a while ago, do you need to be a Latvian to participate? Not at all, no. As you see, we've got drivers from many different countries already participating, so don't be afraid to submit your application to the competition. We've got one more round left. You can still get some points on the board.
And even if it's just the one round, I would definitely recommend trying out, because these street cars are so much fun to drive. There we go, our next group is in the server already practicing, getting some nice tandems in there already, as we can see out in that outside zone by 2 of our drivers. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh, close call. All right.
Oh no, you see what happened? being too far forward on the start, the semaphore is in between the monitors and disappears.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's so
Between the
unfortunate.
monitors.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry to
God.
hear that. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
That is the oh my god, that is the worst thing
I would
ever.
be very frustrated to go
Yeah.
out like that. I have to be honest with you, man. I'm sorry about that. Yeah,
I'd be like, that's it, I'm going VR.
yeah, that sucks. That
Or
sucks.
single screen, whatever.
But oh well, next round, maybe some better luck right there. I mean, some great runs either way.
Yeah, maybe we can, I don't know, think about getting a second semaphore thingy, which is similar to DCGP, where it's just like a plugin and you place it in your overlay wherever you want to.
That could be an interesting idea
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of free ones out there as well. So we could at least have that for the drivers. They don't look awesome on stream, but we could not show them on stream. We could only like get them working because they work with chat commands. We could just run them, and the stream wouldn't see it, but the drivers would, and that would be perfect, I think.
Maybe, definitely.
Of
Something
course,
to consider. Something
we have to have two semaphores for that.
Yeah,
but,
that makes it a bit more annoying
Yeah.
for our Mr. Semaphore, Moist.
Yeah. Just another thing for him to do each time he sends drivers
And then the
away.
question is, can you launch them at the same time? Are they gonna go green at the same time then? Or do you have to time them differently then?
No, one is like a plugin that you control via
No, but
text
like,
chat, and the other is like a car.
No, yes, but the thing is, once you say go on both of them, right? It
Yeah.
does the countdown automatically.
Yeah.
Is the countdown the same length on both?
Oh my god.
So then you have to launch one of them 1.25
Yeah.
seconds after the other one.
No, there's probably a way to like change it. I would hope that
Look at that! We got perfect tandems right here.
Nice.
Nice, that's what I like to see. No, somebody went back to pits. No.
It's all right. It's all right. At least nobody crashed into each other. They at
Yeah.
least do have the buttons.
Oh, and looks like everyone's going back to pits.
Uh-huh.
That might have been the back to pits call.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that lap end though.
Yeah.
That looked beautiful.
Yeah.
6 cars, all of them tandeming. That was nice.
Yeah, it's perfect when you have an even amount of drivers on the server
And
practicing.
there we go. That was indeed back to pits because we have our first drivers on the line. Both E36s, Juan Jorges versus Rainer Vasiliev, and the light is green. Off the line we go already. Juan Jorges in the lead. Let's get a nice flick initiation right there outside zone 1. Beautiful right on the line, and Rainer getting into the pocket right away. Great proximity right off the bat, getting into outside zone 4 right now. A bit of a distance opening up, but Rainer filling up that pocket right now as well. Good job by both drivers currently. Let's see that wall ride on outside zone far. Nice slow transition, and Rainer getting into that pocket as well. Good job so far. Juan getting into the touch and go. Hits that as well. A bit of a gap opening up once again, so let's slow it down. Let's dive into that pocket, and there we go. Nice job by Rainer in the end, diving into that pocket as well. And great run by both drivers.
Yeah, what a sick run. Look at the initiation
Beautiful.
from Juan.
Beautiful.
Completely filling outer zone 1, but Rainer immediately on his door, just leaving no space between them immediately in outside zone 1, losing some distance between them, between inside clip 2 and outside zone 3, but
few
immediately
parts.
catching back as well. You see that he still keeps the chase going very close to Juan's doors.
Yeah, a bit of a
Really
gap
good
opening
run.
up here as well,
Yeah.
but still overall.
But look at
great
this!
Job,
Look at
great job.
He crossed the finish line, basically right next to him. Let's see if Rainer can do better than Juan in the chase, as they're off the line already. Nice flick initiation from Rainer. Feels outside zone 1 like halfway through, but Juan immediately on his doors as well. And look at the transition, look at the distance between them. Right on his pocket, super aggressive is Juan in the chase, as Rainer still continues now transitioning into outer zone 5 right now. A little bit of an angle change, which checks him up a bit, but Juan keeps the proximity exactly the same. Anticipates perfectly. Oh, and there's some contact in outer zone 7.
All
Looked
right.
like Rainer hit the wall, and then
First of all,
Juan crashed into him, but they
want
both
to
kept
comment on this.
going.
I really want to comment
Do
on
it,
this
do
right
it,
here.
do it.
Hold on. So there's going to be a transition, and right here, look at
Yeah,
that save
yeah.
by Juan. Ooh. Reiner breaking a bit in the lead, getting up to the correct angle, but Juan managing to save it in the chase right there, not making any contact. Great job in the chase.
And
here as well, yeah, just getting up into that pocket and getting up on the door. But let's see what happened here. Did Reiner brake too late? So we're staying up
look
here.
at this, yeah.
Yeah,
Checked up a little bit
don't
with
really
the
know
angle.
whose fault that was.
I think it was independent, and then Juan crashed into him because Reiner slowed down so much from the wall tap.
Looks like we have a decision already, so it looks like it was quite clear for the judges. So let's see, slide him left for Juan, slide him right for Reiner, and it's gonna be Juan Jorge's moving on to the top 16, so still staying in the fight for the top 3 spots of our championship in total. So yeah, congratulations to you, and of course, thank you to our other driver. Thank you to our other driver, Reiner Vasiliev, for participating. Great job on those runs as well. Unfortunate there in the end for that lead, but thank you for participating. And there we go, next drivers on the line already. E36 versus E46 battle. Mati Slats versus Olav Tagakula, and off the line we go already. E36 in the lead, E46 in the chase. A bit more of a straight line initiation, fills out the outside zone 1 very nicely in that lead, and then Mati's in the chase, keeping a little bit of a distance and then diving in right now into outside zone 4. Great job on the proximity, not quite mimicking the angle as much though, and checking up a bit on the proximity now as well, but a very close transition into outside zone 5, dives right in. Great job right now by Mati, staying on the door. Great proximity as well, and of course mimicking the angle perfectly through outside zone 5, and diving right in onto outside zone 7. Good job on the lead, of course, by Olav, and Mati leaving a bit more of a gap than I would have expected in the chase, if I'm being honest with you, you know. He had some corrections, had a few checkups here and there, if I could see that correctly, you know, but a few great dives as well, like right here, for example, you know. Sacrificing a little bit of that angle, but managing to stay on the door, but see there, checking up a bit. Now a great close transition, you know, dives in, but then once again, just backs off just a bit too much, like right there as well. So yeah, not staying at the same distance the whole run, but still a great job by both drivers.
This dive.
Yeah, that was
this
nice.
dive right
that
here.
Nice.
I really wanted to cut you off at the point where you were talking about the proximity and say about the dives, because they were really crazy.
Yeah, the dives themselves were very nice.
Yeah, but let's see if Matis can do a better job than Olav in the lead. And as they already go, a big aggressive flick initiation from Matis, completely filling outside zone 1. And Olav immediately also on the doors of Matis. Very good proximity, but a bit of a shallower angle coming into outer zone 3. Now really good proximity and mimicking from Olav's in the chase position here as they transition into outer zone 5. Olav's just sticking to Mati's door. That is some perfect chasing right there as they hit the touch and go and come into outer zone 7. He still keeps it in it. Doesn't release it a single moment. That was just some crazy chase work from Olav there. Look at this. Matis goes really aggressive in the lead, throws some big angle, but that doesn't deter Olav a tiny bit. Just one tiny correction here. He was a bit shallower in angle, but from that moment,
I think as Matis.
Yeah, but from that moment, this is just a perfect chase. That was the only mistake with it. Look at this, just rubbing the tire on his door.
To be honest, you know, to me, at least, Olav's chase does look better than Matis overall.
I have to say.
Yeah, I do believe that Olav does have the advantage in this one. But of course, we'll see what the judges think as well, you know. Gotta wait and see what they're gonna be deciding. Mati's currently 4th in the standings, so definitely hoping to move on at top 32. He doesn't want to be knocked out this early.
That would definitely not be good for him in points. I'm wondering why he didn't go all in so aggressive in the chase position.
Well, I mean, sometimes things just happen, you know. I'm pretty sure that he wasn't deliberately trying to stay way further back or anything like that, you know. Probably just happens, you know. But still, let's wait and see what the judges decide on. You know, maybe we saw it wrong. Of course, definitely could be possible that we didn't see everything. And as you can see, judges still deciding on their decision. So definitely more to look at in that one. But decisions coming in right now. Slide left for Olav, right for Matis. Let's see who's going to move on to the top 16. And it's going to be 2 votes for Olav and one more time. So Olav is going to be moving on to the top 16. Congratulations. And unfortunate upset right there for Matis. So yeah, that's going to be Matis knocked out currently our 3rd spot in the standings. But Juan in the 6th place that we had before could be actually catching up if he manages to continue his run in this one. So definitely some exciting stuff for the overall leaderboard as well. But enough of that. Right now, Armands Vestmanis and Daniel Kvaša are on the line. Speaking of one of the people who is in the run for the championship, that's going to be Armands Vestmanis in the lead right here with the E36 and Daniel Kvaša in the chase. And we are off the line. Let's go and let's see what we have. A nice flick initiation into outside zone 1, flicks in and fills it out nicely, and a bit of wavering from Daniel, makes a little bit of contact there as well, going now into outside zones 3 and 4. Good job by Armands in the lead. Daniel staying a bit further back in the chase, not quite mimicking the angle either, but dives in on outside zone 5, checks up a bit right after that dive, but still managed to stay at around the same distance he was the whole run. And now let's go out into the outside zone 7 and over the line we go. So bit of a contact there at the start of the run, but overall good job by both drivers. Armands filling out all the zones, maybe a bit slow on that flick right there in the initiation, but still overall, managing to put up a very solid run. So what do you think, Ed?
I think it was a really smooth lead run from Armands there, and Daniel, you could see, I think he was struggling to keep up. There were some good dives where he got some of the lost proximity back, but at the end here, going for outer zone 7, you see quite a big of a gap developing. He still tries to catch up to jump for it, but still a car's gap between them, even though there was an attempt made. But let's see if Daniel can do better in the lead and can get some ground on Armands. With a nice flick initiation, completely filling outer zone 1, Armands immediately on Daniel's door, transitioning over into outer zone 3 right now. Armands keeping a modest distance, but now closing into it. Some small angle corrections from Daniel here, going into now outer zone 5. Armands perfectly mimicking the angle and the line of Daniel. Now going through the touch and go, coming up to outer zone 7, Daniel still steady on the angle, a little bit of a correction, but very smooth from Armands. Didn't matter about Daniel's corrections at all, just kept the angle and the speed and the line going exactly the same. He knew that those were just corrections, and then he just can keep going at the current pace. Very good chase run from Armands, definitely competitive there.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I would say, just about what we would expect, our number 5 qualifier in the chase, providing a very solid, very consistent chase, while our 28 qualifier in Daniel, seeing some corrections, seeing some wavering right there. But overall, great job by both drivers. Getting a nice, 2 nice clean runs
on
the board. And we have the result
crashed
already.
Nobody crashed, that's the good thing. And now let's look at where they slide on the scorecard, and they unanimously slide for Armands Vestmanis. So he gets a spot in top 16, unfortunate for Daniel Kvaša. Let's see you in the next race, as we've seen you in the previous ones as well. Better luck next time.
Armands Vestmanis, our current points leader, still staying in the fight for the top 16 as well, trying to solidify his lead.
Yeah.
Currently in the lead by 27 points, so nice lead already over Mark, but trying to get some to secure his spot, and looks like our next driver's on the line already. And look at that entrance right there. What was that? All right, it's gonna be Daniels Romanchuks versus Nauris Žmuida, and off the line we go already. Daniels in the lead, Nauris in the chase. So let's see what we got. A big flick initiation, fills out outside zone 1 very nicely by Daniels. And Nauris staying a bit further back on that initiation, but then dives right into the pocket now into outside zone 3. Great job filling out the zone very well by Daniels in the chase. Nauris now diving in a bit more once again on outside zone 4, a bit more distance for that transition. Let's see, can we get a nice dive here as well? Ooh, beautiful job by Nauris in the chase. Of course, Daniels, very few corrections in the lead. Very nice job in that E46. Let's slow down a bit, and beautiful run by both of our drivers in the first run. And what an entrance that was by Nauris. Yeah, we can see here in the initiation, Nauris falling back a bit, but still managed to fix that error very quickly and catch up. Very nice right there by both of our drivers. yeah, Moist in the chat as well mentioning that entrance by Nauris. That totally caught me off guard. But yeah, great job. I'm really liking that livery of that E46. Not really what I would want to go for personally, but I like those colors. Looks nice and flashy. Anyways, let's swap around now. Nauris in the lead, Daniels in the chase, and of the line we go. E36 versus E46. Bit more of a straight line entry by Nauris in the lead. Fills out outside zone 1 very nicely, but Daniels right on the door of the bat already. Now into outside zone 3, leaving a bit of a gap, but now into outside zone 4. Gonna try to get on that door as well. Great job by Daniels in the chase, getting right on that door, giving it a few taps. Now outside zone 5, great job by Nauris, nicely filling out the zone with one wheel though, not both of them. And there's going to be contact in the touch and go. So unfortunately Nauris is going to be straightening out a big error by Nauris in the lead. Unfortunate stuff right there, and going to be a 360 over the line from Daniels. Great job on that 360.
Yeah, the first one who tried and immediately succeeded.
You missed Nauris entry onto the track.
Oh no.
You will have to see it. You will have to see it. That caught me completely off guard. I was laughing for the first run, for the whole first run.
You mean the initiation?
No, the way he entered onto the track from the pits.
Oh, I did see that.
Oh, you saw it?
That,
Okay,
like the back
yeah,
was spin.
yeah. But yeah, unfortunate contact right there by Nauris. I think it was independent. I didn't look carefully.
It says Automobiļu Racing Team entry by Nauris, so AMS stands for Automobiļu Racing Team.
I see.
That is a perfect name for a team, and that's exactly what we would expect from somebody with that team name.
And looks like we have our results in already. So sliding left for Daniels, and it's going to be Daniels moving on to the top 16. So congratulations to you, Daniel. Now, unfortunately, didn't work out on this one. Great job in both runs, though. Very unfortunate getting that hit on the touch and go. You know, at those speeds, just barely tapping it. Also very easy to straighten out as well. So unlucky error. But yeah, hope to see you again on the next one.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Nauris that he definitely went all in as he always does, but didn't work out for him this time around. So with that battle, we're closing off our first half of top 32. So the next group is joining in right now. We might be having a break right now. We sometimes do, we sometimes don't. I don't really know. But we have the next 8 drivers loading up into the server right now, and we're going to see the number 2 qualifier Vitaly Isayev going up against 31st Enk Amgalan, then 15th Mark Rourke going against Declan Donnelly. So that's going to be an all-around Irish battle. The old school versus the new school, if I understand correctly. Then we're going to have Duarte Mota going against Benes Ionutis, and Vaidas Šipala going against Carlos Miloš in the next group. That's going to be some interesting battles right there.
If I remember correctly, there was somebody in the chat saying that they unfortunately won't make it to today's battles. So let me see who that was, if we already had them go or not.
Let's see, I don't really see anything like that in the chat.
And oh yeah, we had him go already, I think, not there.
Yeah, in the Discord.
Yeah. Oh well, anyways. Oh, and we can see the semaphore drifting action as well, getting in on the tandems. That's what I like to see.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we already had the driver who said that go already. Never mind them.
Yeah, for those who didn't know, the semaphore is an 800 horsepower car with VDC physics. So it can go sideways as well, as you see it do right now. So that is our own Moist. Oh no. Well, that at least needs some fun. Did you read in Discord that he needed basically to get some new PC parts for today? Otherwise, it wasn't going to be happening.
I was already looking at deals and seeing if I could help out, just like with the streaming PC, you know. But I didn't see anything that really spoke to me as much as it did that time, unfortunately. But hey, looks like he already got it figured out, you know.
Yeah, luckily he managed to solve the situation and is now able to let our drivers send them off the line.
Yeah. So in the next battle, who are we gonna have here? It's gonna be Vitaly Isayev versus Enk. All right, our second versus 31st qualifier. And where is Vitaly in the leaderboard? I'm trying to find him, but
he might not have
finding
been in all
the standings. Yeah, I think he might have missed some, because his runs yesterday that was some impressive stuff right there. So
there he is, 79th at the moment.
79
with 0 points.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, as his team name says, you know, drift happens.
Yeah, drift
Yeah.
happens and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, but let's hope that, of course, we're going to be seeing some nice battles from him and from Enk in the top 32 coming up right now.
If only we would know how many points maximum can a driver get for a race. Imagine how, I don't know. Oh, look at the drift train going.
Yeah, three-car train, let's go.
Look at the proximity on
Oh,
those
well,
ones.
now, yeah, that entrance was something, man. I was laughing for the whole first run.
Yeah, I think we got a really
You
good
surprised
group
me.
coming up. Seeing
yeah.
the drift trains going on and the tandems right now on the track, I think we're going to see some really good proximity. And look at the tandem coming after them.
Yep.
That is nice. We're going to see some good drifting action. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly what we want to see. And what do you think? Are we going to be finally seeing some upsets coming in? So, have we had any upsets so far? I don't think so.
No.
Right? Yeah, so
we
far the
haven't.
higher qualified drivers have managed to go through every time.
Yeah, well, let's see if Enk.
Oh, there we go. We had somebody asking for a different Discord invite link. That should be a valid one now, so try joining now.
Yeah. We might see an upset maybe in the Mark O'Rourke versus the Declan Donnelly battle, since
Those are very close in qualifying there.
yeah, they're
you know.
very close in qualifying, but a completely different type of driver as well. One with years experience under his belt, the other is very young into the sport. So,
But that could go either way. Yeah, that was a very near miss right there.
Yeah.
Ooh. But yeah, that could go either way as well. You know, these young drivers improving very quickly,
Yeah.
getting so much time behind the wheel on the sim. You know, that's all it takes to improve, right? All you need is the seat time, and as we know, the younger kids usually have more time on their hands.
yeah, go to school, do your homework, and you're free to drift all night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there we go. We have some input by Nautis as well. Yeah, miscalculated trajectory going from outside zone 5 into touch and go 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlucky. You know, that's a high speed spot, so just barely touching the wall there can mess you up very easily. Yeah,
Yeah.
I played that before as well, but
It was a really
Unlucky,
good run up
unlucky.
until that, yeah.
yeah, it was a nice try. So currently only one driver on the track. Are we going back to pits already or not yet? Get some stretches in. Oh, there we go. We have our first drivers on the line already. E36 versus E46 battle. It's going to be Enk, currently our 26th driver in the standings, by the way, as well. So another spot where he could make up a lot of places in the standings. Off the line we go right now, though. Green light, Vitaly in the lead, Enk in the chase. A nice flick initiation, fills out outside zone 1 very nicely, but Enk leaving a lot of space in between into the touch and go. Vitaly fills it out nicely. Enk trying to make up that proximity right now, going to outside zone 4. Still a bit of a gap, but there we go. He dives in a bit closer, sacrificing a bit more of that angle. Now for outside zone 5, the great big wall ride. And there we go. Enk making some contact on the door, just taps it barely right there. Now finishing off the run into outside zone 7, Vitaly with some left foot brake, and great job by both drivers going over the line. A nice clean run, but unfortunately Enk not getting the amount of proximity that we would like to see. You know, of course, as I've said before already, you know, number 2 qualifier versus number 30, so can see the difference in terms of the skill a bit there, but overall a great job keeping it consistent and not over driving too much by Enk as well.
Yeah, qualifying number 31 even.
And 31,
unfortunately got gapped in the start of the track and then managed to gain some proximity, but as you see, the way he gains proximity is by losing a lot of angle, and that also can hurt you quite a bit, and at that point you already have to think if that was worth it. But let's see if he can do better in the lead. And Vitaly is going to be in the chase, and Enk does a nice initiation and fills most of outer zone 1. Vitaly, though, immediately on his doors, putting it in the pocket, now reducing proximity, coming into outer zone 3. Enk still on a nice line there and having some nice angle as well, but Vitaly perfectly timing the transition, coming into outer zone 5 and is right on the doors of Enk, who is still now going through the touch and go. Nice angle from him. You really can't keep a lot of angle there. And now already through outer zone 7, and across the finish line. A decent lead run from Enk then there, but I think a much better job in the chase from Vitaly than his counterpart in this race. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, we could see a lot more proximity from Vitaly in the chase, and I would say the angle mimicking was way better as well. Here while diving in, we could see that, you know, he has just a bit less angle, but still staying very, very close in terms of the mimicking there as well. So yeah, great job by both drivers. Waiting for the judges to decide on the scores on this one, and looks like we have our scores in already. So slide them left for Vitaly, slide them right for Enk, who's going to be moving on to the top 16. And it's going to be Vitaly, unanimous decision by our judges, going to be moving out to the top 16 and keeping on battling in this one. So congratulations to you, Vitaly. Thank you for participating, Enk. And can't wait to see you in the last round, the next round as well. And there we go, another great pair of runs that we have out of the way. So who's coming up next? Oh, up next is going to be Mark O'Rourke versus Declan Donnelly. So we're going to have two Irish drivers, and off the line we go already. Mark in the lead, Declan in the chase, E46 on E36 action. Big flick into outside zone 1, fills it out perfectly in the lead, Mark, but Declan in the chase, leaving a bit of room to be desired right there. But diving in now, passing outside zone 3 into outside zone 4. A bit less angle, but getting that proximity in right there. Great job, and a very close transition out into outside zone 5, and diving in into that door of Mark is Declan now in the chase. Touch and go, great job by both drivers. Now slow down a bit for outside zone 7, nice left foot brake by both, and over the line we go. Clean run by both drivers. Yeah, at the start right here, great initiation by Mark, look at that, and then Declan coming up a bit shallow right there. And yeah, we could see a bit less angle from him, but I guess he sacrificed a bit of angle to make sure that he does have that proximity from the start as well. Not getting into the doors completely, but keeping it nice and consistent, so glad to see that. And yeah, great runs by both of our drivers. So yeah, one of our younger drivers, if I do remember correctly, in Declan, or was he? Well, his info says that he's born in quite literally the year 1900, so might be our oldest driver, now that I see that correctly. Anyways, second run, Declan in the lead, Mark in the chase. Smaller flick, but fills out outside zone 1 nicely in the lead. And then Mark in the chase, look at that, putting it on the door immediately, sacrificing a bit more of that angle, and very aggressive chase by Mark currently. Oh, and some contact as well, but Declan stays in it as well, and out into outside zone 5 right now. Very aggressive chase by Mark, another aggressive lunge right into the door. Great mimic of the angle as well right now, keeping it together. And look at that, front wheels touching from both drivers. Oh, but an error from Mark in the chase, maybe? Ooh, what a run that was. Mark driving so aggressively in the chase. So much to look at on this one. Had a contact a few times, and I do believe that that is going to be on Mark. In those spots, I didn't see really Declan slowing down, so let's see. Yeah, Declan's not slowing down, Mark is just diving into the door, but good to see that Declan managed to keep it together and still stay in the zone as well on that one. But coming up to the end, oh man, that dive right there though. Anyways, let's see at the end what happened here. So he's staying right on the door, and yeah, okay, so I think Declan got pushed a bit by Mark when he started braking, and that might have messed up both of them just a bit, if I'm seeing that correctly. But man, what an aggressive run by Mark. Really like to see the aggression coming in. Good job on that. So yeah, judges taking their time and deciding who's going to be the winner for this one and who's going to be at fault for that contact that we had in the second run. So right now, where do we have both of these drivers in the standing? Let's see. Mark was all the way up there in the second spot right now. So, ooh, if Mark goes out in the top 32, that's gonna be huge for the standings. Could shake things up quite a bit with that one. And Declan, let's see, where are you, Declan? I'm gonna do a quick Control F to look for Declan. But yeah, either way, as we can see, judges still, another look at the replay by the judges as well, taking their time and deciding who's going to be moving on. Yeah, and definitely not an easy decision with this one. I really like the aggressiveness by Mark in the chase. I mean, look at that. Oof, the dive on this one, yeah, just a bit much, but the next dive into outside zone 5, this one, just look at that. Oh my god, that is just pure art right there by Mark in the chase. Look at that. And yeah, then there's this error that happened. I do wonder who's going to be at fault for that one. A bit difficult to see on our camera there as well, since we transitioned right there, but looks like the decision is in. Slide left for Mark, right for Declan, who's going to be moving on, and it's going to be Declan Donnelly moving on to the top 16. So unfortunately Mark is going to be knocked out in the top 32, so that's definitely going to be shaking up the standings for the season in general. So yeah, congratulations of course to Declan on the win. Can't wait to see more of you in the top 16. And Mark, unfortunate, but of course can't wait to see you in that final round, hopefully getting some redemption there as well. But yeah, that was a nice battle by both drivers. I really like the aggression by Mark. Unfortunately it didn't pay off this time, but definitely exactly what we want to see. And up next, there we go, going to be two E36s, Duarte versus Benas. Our Portuguese versus Lithuanian drivers right here from Team Blind versus Team Niako Tokyo. And what's that? The lead leaving a gap? I don't think that should be like that, Duarte. I think Duarte has to get up on the line still, but either way, let's see what we're gonna get from these red and pink E36s. Duarte off in the lead first, and then Benas in the chase. 3, 2, 1, and off the line we go. Alright, so gonna be a big flick initiation by Duarte in the lead. A lot of angle to start things off, but does wash out of the outside zone 1 just a bit. Hits the touch and go, the inside clip, and now for outside zone 3. Oh, a lot of corrections from Duarte in the lead, but does manage to hit outside zone 4 very nicely. And in the chase as well, great job keeping the proximity even around the whole course, but not quite getting into the door. And oh, just some wavering corrections as well in the chase by Benas. And there we go, diving into the door in outside zone 7. So yeah, interesting run right there. Duarte making a few mistakes right here off the bat. Very aggressive initiation, liking the aggression, but unfortunately doesn't fill the outside zone 1 completely. And then yeah, we can see in the chase leaving a bit of proximity, a bit of space in between the cars, and doing some corrections there as well. So definitely leaving a bit more to be desired from both of our drivers. But yeah, as we can see, of course, for these drivers, Duarte using a Sim Magic, so a direct drive wheel, and Benas driving a Thrustmaster T300, so a big difference in terms of gear, but still very competitive battles that we're seeing right here. So remember, it is not all about the gear that you have, it's all about the seat time that you get, which is the most important thing. Speaking of which, off the line we go for the second run, having some troubles with the semaphore again, and Duarte is leaving. What's happening here? I'm confused. And Duarte is coming back to the starting line. Okay, looks like we're gonna have a restart. Oh boy, let's hope that it's gonna go well. I don't want to see another run end because of semaphore problems. There we go, leaving some distance. Duarte in the chase, Ben is in the lead. Off the line we go, and let's see if we can see a bit more of a solid run in the lead right now. Great job on the outside zone 1, fills it out nicely, but Duarte in the chase already great proximity off the bat, and a very close transition. I think there was some contact there, but Duarte diving right back in, keeping great proximity and mimicking the angle quite well as well, and a great dive in outside zone 5 as well. Oh, but looks like he dove a bit too far, had to check up and brake a bit and lose the angle and proximity. And now finishing off the run in outside zone 7, and there we go, off across the finish line we go. Yeah, another interesting run. This is going to be a bit of a difficult one for the judges. A few mistakes from both drivers in the lead and in the chase in both runs, but I do think that Duarte's chase, yeah, overall I like Duarte's chase better, but this contact right there, that might be a bit of a big error. Fortunately, Ben has managed to save it in the lead, but yeah, I think that's going to be a bit of a deduction. And here as well, that dive, very aggressive by Duarte. Love the aggression, unfortunately not quite paying off, just like in the last battle that we had where Ed was gone for a bit, so I'll fill him in as well, where Mark, our current second driver, got upset by Declan. Because he was very aggressive in the chase as well, and he made contact and unfortunately messed it up just a bit. So yeah, we might be seeing something similar here as well.
So I missed the absolute cinema going on. Yeah, that is unfortunate.
You'll definitely have to check that one out later.
Yeah,
very aggressive run by Mark. Quite similar to what we're seeing here, where the higher qualifier went very aggressive with the chase and had some contact where I would say that they were at fault. Yeah. And I mean, on the last one, it was correct, that Mark was indeed at fault for that. That's why Declan got to win. But on this run, of course, still yet to see who the fault is going to lie with that. Or maybe, if there was something else that decided the whole battle as well.
I did see that run, and Benedis was doing a really good job in the lead. He was very solid, and it did look like Duarte was doing a lot of things to catch up to him.
Yeah, here's Duarte's lead again. Yeah. So this is the run that you missed. Yeah. So and you see some corrections there by Duarte as well.
In the lead position as well, but a good proximity, it looks like, from Benes there in the chase.
Well, he's keeping it consistent, not getting completely into the door, but staying consistent. But the results are in, so slide them left for Duarte, slide them right for Benes. And it's gonna be Benes moving on to the top 16, so another upset for us. 2 back-to-back upsets, so 2 votes for Benes and one more time vote. So congratulations, moving on to the top 16, and Duarte, thank you for participating in this one. And there we go, another upset for us here on this battle as well. Back-to-back upsets right now. A very high qualifying driver in Duarte, 7th qualifier, getting knocked out by the 26th. So I do wonder if we're going to be seeing something similar to what we saw with Ritums Jakobsons in the last one, where we might be seeing somebody getting some upsets.
Yeah, there's quite a few drivers who can do that today, because we've seen 2 already, and now we're going to have Vidas Šipla in the lead and Carlos Milic in the chase. Already a nice initiation into outer zone 1 from Vidas, but Carlos still keeping the proximity, going there, not leaving a big gap behind him, like maybe half the car, but still mimics the angle and the line very well. Now coming over into outer zone 5, Carlos does a bit of a dive to get right in the doors of Vidas, while Vidas is still keeping the angle, going all the way throughout the zone very consistently. Now hitting the touch and go. Another smaller gap. Oh no, that's already outer zone 7. Wow, I'm late for the track. Decent run from Vidas in the lead position, but quite aggressive from Carlos in the chase as well. You can see that he definitely wants the points. He definitely doesn't want to leave this in the judges' hands and wants to improve his opportunity of winning this race. Look at this dive here, and especially on the next zone here. This.
Yeah. Great job by Carlos in the chase.
Matched immediately the angle perfectly as well. He set it exactly in the pocket and continued all the way from there. Of
course, remember, you cannot have a good chase without a good lead, and a great job by Vidas in the lead as well, keeping it nice and consistent. Not too many corrections, and great runs by both of our drivers. But now let's swap the positions. It's going to be Carlos in the lead, Vidas in the chase. And let's see if we can see some nice proximity in this one as well. And off the line we go. So, are we going to see a flick? And a smaller flick, a bit more of a straight line initiation. Fills out outside zone 1 very nicely, but Vidas right there on the door, right off the bat already, through the touch and go and into outside zone 3, diving in right now. Beautiful job in that chase, just a bit less angle, but diving in right now on the door through outside zone 4, transitioning to outside zone 5, and on the big wall ride, he's going to be right. Job by Vidas in the chase, and Carlos keeping it nice and solid in the lead as well through the touch and go and into outside zone 7. Let's break it up a bit, and beautiful job by both our drivers. Clean runs, both lead and chase. Love to see it.
So aggressive from Vidas in the chase. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone be really close and even then going in for an aggressive dive. Look at this. Look at absolutely crazy in the chase. That was insane.
A nice close transition as well, and look at that. Oof, the outside zone 5. This is my favorite shot right here. That outside zone 5. I think that's the camera to look out for in this one.
Look at this. He was so close already, and he did a really aggressive, a really snappy dive to get right in the door to get right with his tire right on Carlos' door.
I mean, 10th qualifier versus 23rd qualifier, you would not be able to tell. You
Yeah.
would not be able to tell. If nobody told you where they qualified, I don't think you would be able to tell. But I mean, Carlos Miloš as well, you know, qualified 23rd, but in our standings currently 18th. So moving on to top 16 or potentially further could impact a lot in terms of the standings for him, because a lot of people quite close in terms of the points. So these next two rounds gonna determine a lot for the standings in general, especially for those people that we have right here around the 10th to 30th position even.
Yeah.
Very close in the standings.
Yeah, but I don't really see Vaidas high up in the overall leaderboards, not in the top 30 that we're seeing at the moment. Can we get him anywhere?
Yeah, I was looking for him as well, couldn't really find him there.
Let's scroll to
But
the very bottom.
more importantly, the results are in right now.
Okay.
So sliding left for Vaidas, right for Carlos. We have one vote for each right now, and who's going to be moving on to the top 16? It's going to be Vaidas Šipaila from Lithuania. So congratulations, moving on to the top 16 right now. Carlos going to be knocked out, unfortunately, in the top 32, but great runs either way. So thank you to both our drivers on this one. And moving on, what a battle do we have up next? It's going to be Andris Kleinbergs versus Daniels. Help me out with the last name, please.
Soltsiakas, it looks
There
like.
we go. Yes, thank you. So that's going to be our number 3 qualifier versus our number 30 qualifier. Anders Kleinberg's currently 4th place in the standings, so also trying to get himself up in that podium position right here. And well, I would say today he has good chances of accomplishing that. Mark is out already, and Matis is also out already. So the two people above him in the standings right now are already out. So that means if he goes further here, I'm pretty sure if he wins this next battle, he might already be in the 3rd spot over Matis. Not quite too sure about that, but yeah, he has the chance to move up into the 2nd position in the standings today alone.
Maybe even the 1st, we don't even know, because we don't know how many points you get for what here.
Yeah, I really need to look that up
like
and remember
that.
that. Exactly. Apologies for the lack of knowledge by the casters, but still a close race for the top 3 right there.
I do think Andres still can shoot it for the 1st place. If not in this race, he can score high here. And then completely dominate the next one. You never know. He has the chance, because we have not only this one, but another one race left after this.
Yeah, but a lot of changes that could happen in the top 10 right now. We still have Anders Kleinbergs, we have Juan Jorges, we have Ritums Jakobsons. Who else do we have coming up?
We also have Enk. No, Enk. No, not Enk.
Is not participating today.
No, he was already participating.
Yeah.
Who else we have? We have Ian Johnson in the 9th.
Bunch of top 10 drivers still left.
And we also have Janis Kloks, who's currently in the 13th with 112 points. But he can definitely climb higher up, getting some good points in this race too. So another driver to be watched out for. And
we have Benes in the chat right here. Yeah, that was a good battle. Great job.
No
Very
force
nice
feedback. Oh wow. Yeah, that's also unfortunate.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I would not be able to drive with no force feedback.
Same, absolutely the same.
Good job then. I mean, yeah, if you did that with no force feedback, well done. Well done.
We all know that if you lose force feedback, you most likely have to reset your wheel, and if you have to reset your wheel, you have to restart the Assetto Corsa.
Yeah.
So probably wasn't a good time to do that mid-battle.
Yeah, unfortunate. But still, was a great battle to watch, you know? I could not tell.
Yeah, same, exactly. I could not tell that you did not have force feedback there. Crazy.
But that does explain some of those few mistakes that we saw there, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, it explains that you would not be able to feel when your car is maybe about to over-rotate or stall.
But you know, drift happens.
Drift happens indeed.
Yeah.
But let's see, next up, the next group is already warming up, and the first battle is going to be Andris Kleinbergs, currently 4th in the leaderboards in the overall standings. We're going against Danielis Soltsiakas from Lithuania.
And we have two people who got into drifting in completely different ways, actually. So Danielis got into drifting because he started off driving in real life, and then made well, enjoying real-life drifting, and then started up the sim afterwards. And what Andres has said is that he got into virtual drifting because he was looking at other people's driving, basically. So yeah, if I do read that correctly, I think Andres got into sim drifting first and then real-life drifting, and for Daniels it was the other way around. So yeah, interesting stuff. Different, coming from different places, but still ending up here battling each other in our series right now. But right now, looks like Andres is the one who drives in real life, and Danielis unfortunately does not drift in real life. So there we go. There we go. And yeah, we can see our drivers in the server right now practicing. And did they go back to pits? Were they called back, or what is going on right now? Let's wait and see. Could be having our next battle up already. And looks like that is indeed the case. So, Anders Kleinberg versus Danielis Soltisiakas. There we go. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And it's going to be Anders in the lead, Danielis in the chase. Racing Team Riga versus Perkunas Motorsport, and off the line we go. So, Anders with a big flick initiation to outside zone 1. Great job filling out the zone nicely. Danielis leaving a bit more of room right there on the start through the touch and go as well, but now through outside zone 3, trying to get some of that proximity back. Anders, great job in the lead throughout outside zone 4 and transitioning into outside zone 5, but Daniel's leaving a bit too much space in the chase, and he's gonna make contact with the wall and straighten out. So that's gonna be an incomplete for Daniels in the chase, and Anders, the usual. Great lead run, solid stuff right there. So yeah, unfortunate by Daniels in the chase. There was a bit of a gap opened up already, so definitely no contact, no impact from Anders on that one, just purely independent. But yeah, we could see already right off the bat he was having some trouble sticking with Anders. Anders was moving through the track way faster in that E36, so Daniels was trying to sacrifice the angle in a lot of spots and line as well just to keep up, but unfortunately couldn't pull it together.
Yeah, probably also wasn't as comfortable for him going through the track that fast. If you see that he needed to do some catch-up work, then he's not ready for the speed that Andres was putting down. But Andres, of course, doing Andres things. Let's see him in the chase, and Daniel is now in the lead, coming up to the starting line now, and a nice flick initiation from Daniel is not filling all of outer zone 1, but Andres immediately on the doors of him. Now coming into outer zone 3 already, great proximity from Andres there. A small wall tap from Daniel is in the lead position, but still keeps in it, doesn't throw it all away. Now coming through outer zone 5, a small tiny correction, but Andres on the doors all the way throughout all the zones, all the way through the track, not letting go at any time. Now going through outer zone 7 and the finish line already, and just keeps it on the door, keeps the proximity going. A perfect chase run, I think, from Andres there, just not leaving any ground left on the table, not leaving any decision to the judges. They should just vote him already and forget about this event. Whatever.
I mean, this battle, look, he kept his distance, okay? Compared to other runs that we've seen by Andres, he kept his distance, you know? I think he knew that he has this one in the bag. All he has to do is make it across the finish line, you know?
So this is what you would say is a bad run from Andres,
no,
or a careful run.
Where did I say bad?
Not bad,
I'm
but
not saying
conservative.
Excuse me.
Conservative, I mean.
Excuse me. Anyways, the score is in, and moving on to the top 16, it's going to be Anders Kleinbergs. Congratulations on the win.
Gets the vote.
Thank you, Daniels, for participating. Unfortunate error right there, but still, thank you, and hope to see you on the next one. All right, so who do we have up next? It's going to be Daniel Mora versus Solomon. Ooh. Help me out with the last name again.
Solomon Erdenchulun.
There we go. Thank you very much.
If you may. I think I got it right this time. I was actually pre-reading it in my head, like two battles ago already. Thinking, can I pronounce it? Can I not pronounce it without stuttering or messing up?
Either way, right now these drivers very close in qualifying, 14th and 19th. So should be seeing a nice and close battle right here on this one.
Yeah, and we've seen good runs from them as well in the previous stages of the competition. I don't remember about Daniel specifically, but Solomon is a name you cannot forget just because it's quite a unique name.
Yeah.
I have seen him in the previous races as well, putting down heat. getting some good runs in, so he definitely can hold his own. Let's see if he can do it this time on this track, on this layout.
Yeah, gonna be an interesting one. So, waiting for both our drivers to get on to the starting line. So we have only 3 battles left in the top 32 right now.
Yeah.
The current one that's coming up right now, Daniel Mora versus Solomon. Then up next is going to be Ritums Jakobsons versus Ian Johnson. So that's going to be interesting as well. Yeah, Ritums qualifying 6th and Ian qualifying 27th.
Didn't Ritums have to battle Ian in the previous race as well? I think I'm remembering something like that, but I might be hallucinating.
Well, we definitely know that he battled his teammate.
Yeah.
In the finals, but yeah, unfortunately Mark is out already, so let's see if Ritums is gonna get his revenge after this as well against his teammate.
Yes.
Oh, but first off, looks like we have both the drivers getting to the line as well. Look at that nice and beautiful white E46. Great livery, great car. And Solomon seems to be missing.
Oh no, is this going to be another Byron?
And looks like it is indeed. Daniel Mora gonna be going for a Byron right now. And off the line we go. So, initiating it outside zone 1. Not quite filling the zone, but still, you know, just has to make it across the line to move on to the next one. Nice and solid run, you know, just sticking it to the wall. Great job by Daniel, of course.
Yeah, a good driver. Also a real life driver on the E30, if you remember from yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's the one to be jealous on.
Exactly.
And with sim setup as well, using a Simicube 1 that is not the most often used wheelbase, but
and there's the winner, Daniel Mora, moving on.
Of course, unanimously. It would be weird if it was any other way.
Yeah.
So moving quickly throughout today's competition, we've had a few no-shows already in top 32. That's a bit discouraging, knowing that you and me placed 33rd and 34th. We could have stepped in if only we knew.
Yeah. It happens, you know, not much you can do about that.
Yeah. The rig's right behind, you know, we brought it up in 2 minutes.
Anyways, up next it's going to be Ritums Jakobsons and Ian Johnson. So it looks like it's going to be Ritums Jakobsons in the lead to start things off and Ian Johnson in the chase. So let's see what we're going to have for this one. Should be a good battle. Coming up right now. So let's see. 3, 2, 1, and off the line we go. Alright, Ritums in the lead, starting things off with a nice flick initiation. Beautiful job on outside zone 1, fills out the zone completely, and Ian in the chase, mimicking the angle perfectly right off the bat, and a nice aggressive transition right there into outside zone 3 as well. And now through outside zone 4, diving into that door, keeping a bit of room. And now let's see outside zone 5. Good job on the transition, and a big dive by Ian into outside zone 5. Great job, perfect mimic of the angle right on the door, gives the door a little tap through the outside zone 5 and into the touch and go, and now some left foot brake to slow things down, and over the line we go. Great job by both drivers. Very solid in the lead by Ritums, not seeing too many corrections by him whatsoever, and Ian in the chase, leaving a bit of room at the start, but then throughout outside zone 5 really diving in aggressively and showing that he can definitely keep up the proximity as well.
Yeah, we're really not seeing many as aggressive lead runs as we just seen from Ritums. It looks like the way to go here for the lead drivers is just to be consistent and careful, but at the same time it looks like VRA Drifting also have been studying Ritums and passing information around, because the chase run that Ian put up, that was pretty crazy. At first he was just wheeling him in slowly, and then he was just jumping in the doors. But let's see how Ian does in the lead and Ritums in the chase, with a nice and smooth initiation from Ian there, not completely filling outer zone 1, now coming through the outer zone 3 already. A bit of a gap from Ritums there, now trying to slowly reel him in, now doing a bit of a dive and a big wall tap from Ian in the lead position.
No, I
shuts it down.
I don't think that was Ian, I think that was Ritums.
I don't know, let's watch it again in the replay.
Look at it carefully. I'm pretty sure it was Ritums straightening it out and bumping into Ian on this one.
You know, really hard to guess who's at fault when you're live casting around.
Just wait and see.
Yep.
Watch. See, Ritums stops him.
I don't think there was contact.
No, he wasn't even close to the wall. Ritums stopped him.
Okay, let's see what the judges think. Maybe our decisions are split on this one. I didn't see contact. It looked like he's close, but he managed to slow down.
I thought we were looking at the same screen.
We are, yeah, but I didn't see any contact at all. I don't know. Maybe
All right,
the
then.
frame rate of my eyes maybe is lower than yours because I'm like 12 years
then,
older.
Let's check it out again.
Yeah.
Let's check it out once again. I mean, I could be wrong as well, of course. I could be wrong as well, but I'm pretty sure I saw that correctly. So let's zoom in.
See, he dives for it.
Wait, bonk. Yes.
Maybe
See?
contact to the rear wheel.
Yeah.
That's what you're
Probably.
talking about. Yeah, that looked like
But-
it. Yeah.
Did Ian slow down maybe where he shouldn't have? That also,
Yeah.
also could have been the case.
Yeah, for me,
get to see
perspective-wise,
that.
it looked like he was about to hit the doors, but didn't. So I didn't think about hitting the rear wheel.
I wasn't paying attention to the front wheels
Yeah.
of Ian, so there might have been some left foot brake from him there as well. I didn't
Same.
see that. I didn't see that. Maybe we'll get to see another look at the replay, or well, maybe the judges already have their decision. And another look at the replay. All right. So
Maybe just bad timing that Ian was going in the wall anyways and Rhythms was going for a dive exactly at the same time.
from our angle, difficult to see, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't really imagine that Ian would be going into the wall there. He was quite far away from it. No, I don't see
Yeah,
that breaking
yeah,
from Ian
true,
either.
yeah.
But still, judges making their decision.
I hope it wasn't a Matt
not
Field
bad yet.
kind of moment.
Nah, that was a big tap right there from what I saw. But yeah, unfortunate to see a run end like that, you know. Would be nice to see it one more time, but I don't think that's gonna be the case here.
Exactly, especially between these two. You definitely not want to see it end like this in a
Yeah,
technicality,
yeah.
like in a tap and a slide out. You
Well,
definitely
now-
want to see them battle out until the end to complete runs, and then it's up to the judges.
Yeah, now looking at the first run, I mean, look at that, you know. Just
Yeah.
great job by both drivers. Unfortunately, didn't get to see that throughout the whole lap on the second run as well.
Sick aggression from Ian there in the chase, just knowing exactly how much he has to jump to get right in the doors, to get his tire right on Rhythm's doors.
Yeah.
That was so close. Awesome. I love it. Great runs today overall. We've seen a lot of great ones, and we're just in top 32 now.
Yeah,
Imagine
I'm
what's
really
gonna come.
sad. I'm really sad. I'm gonna miss a lot of this, a lot of the action here. But it is what it is, you know. Right now, though, still deliberating. So maybe
Yeah.
I have made my call a bit too quickly, you know. But that's why I'm not a judge.
Maybe nothing that we said is right. You know,
Could be the case. Could be the case as well.
maybe both of them lost connection at the very same time.
Nah, I
For all
don't think
we
that
know.
was the case. I don't think that was the case. But yeah, right now, Rhythms Jakobsson's qualifying 6th and in the standings 7th right now. So for him, it would be very, very huge to move on here onto the next one.
Yeah, but
And
Ian is
looks
ninth in the
like we
standings, which
have-
is also very close.
Oh, wait, Ian is
So let's
ninth. Oh,
see.
yeah. And it's going to be Ian Johnson moving on to the top 16. So there we go. Congratulations to Ian on the win. Unfortunate for Rhythms on this one. But yeah, thank you for participating. And that means that, wait a minute, how close are they in points? How close are they in points? So Ian Johnson is right there. And
With 137, 210.
okay, and the judge is going to join to explain the situation of what happened here on this one. Hello, hello.
Hey.
Good evening, commentators. Good evening, spectators. So yeah, commenting about the decision we made. So not unanimous decision. I was going for Rhythms. My other colleagues went for Ian. So both drivers made mistakes on going towards the outside zone 4. So there is not a diesel zone before that zone, but Ian lost 10 kilometers an hour, released throttle and pulled the handbrake. But Rhythms was in a bad position, having a low angle and making a dive at the exact moment. So I deemed the fault at Ian, but my colleagues viewed it differently, as Rhythms being more out of line than Ian making the correction, and that's how the decision made.
I see.
All right,
That's an
thank
interesting
you.
point.
Yeah, thank you for the insight. So yeah, there we go. It looks like there was some slowing down indeed in the lead. So yeah, didn't see the left foot brake, but as
Yeah.
we've said before, you know, the judges have way more data than we do. So there was some slowing down there.
Yeah, but 10 kilometers an hour might not be something that you can easily see from this camera angle.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it might be significant when you're out on the track in the chase position
when
right
you're
next
trying,
to him.
when you're trying to stay as close as possible to the door, 10 kilometers an hour.
Especially as they already said, that was exactly when he was going in for the dive.
Exactly.
And that was the moment the disaster struck, and contact was imminent.
So with that, right now, Ritums is going to be ranked 4th, and currently Ian ranked 9. So Ian could manage to catch up. But right now, our next driver's on the line: Bartosz versus Jānis, Poland versus Latvia, and off the line we go already. Bartosz in the lead, Jānis in the chase, E36 initiating into the outside zone 1. Great job filling the zone fully. Jānis leaving a bit of space so far in the chase, but now going through outside zones 4 and going through outside zones 3 and 4, going to be trying to put on some more proximity right there. Still lacking a bit in that chase, but now on the outside zone 5, the wall ride. Great job by Jānis getting right into the pocket, but unfortunately getting a bit too far and has to check up now through the touch and go and outside zone 7. And there we go, over the line we go. Great job by Bartosz in the lead. Very solid, very nice lead, but unfortunately by Jānis in the chase, quite a few errors, not managing to stay on that door consistently, leaving a bit of a gap. And then once he did manage to dive in, he made a bit too much of a correction and couldn't keep the proximity.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like a lot of Jānis mistakes, because Bartosz really put up a solid and very consistent and smooth lead run. No deceleration as visible from my side. Good proximity right there, but just for a second from Jānis, and he immediately lost it again. I don't know what happened. Maybe not easy for him to control the car at exactly that speed. Maybe the speeds aren't matched.
So 11th versus 22nd qualifiers. So as usual, well, let's get on that later. Right now, over the line we go.
Yeah, let's see what Jānis can do in the lead position. A nice flick initiation and completely filling outer zone 1. Bartosz, though, immediately on his doors. Not too much distance between them as he slowly reels him in, going into outer zone 3 right now. Very good line and angle from Jānis at the moment in the lead position, now going through outer zone 5 already. And a big correction from Jānis in the lead there. Hit the wall, lost a lot of angle, and that lets Bartosz get even closer to him and hit the wall again right before the finish line into outer zone 7. So quite a few mistakes from Jānis in the lead. Unfortunately went too far and hit the wall quite a few times. That made him do quite big corrections to actually save the run and not completely invalidate it. Other than that, it looked like a really solid and aggressive lead run, but unfortunately just a tiny bit too close to the walls. And very good from Bartosz. I don't know, getting up to speed with all of the mistakes immediately, not crashing.
Now that the second run is over, what I wanted to mention before, 11th versus 22nd qualifier. So with both runs over, we can definitely see it now. There is a bit of a difference right there between the level of driving. It looks like we have our scores already. So sliding left for Bartosz, right for Jānis, 1 vote for Bartosz. 2 more votes left and 2 votes already for Bartosz, so he's going to be moving on to the top 16. Yeah, congratulations, our last battle of the top 32 right there. Bartosz going to be moving on. Thank you to Jānis for participating. I can't wait to see you on the next one. There we go, that's going to be it for our top 32. We have our top 16 locked in right now, and it looks like we're going to be starting that off with Darius versus Frederick, so yeah.
Mostly the top qualifying drivers went through this top 32. We only have one upset at the moment.
No, we have a few. We have a few. We have three. We have 3. Mark O'Rourke versus Declan Donnelly. Declan was the lower qualifier. Duarte Mota versus Benos Jonutis. Benos was the lower qualifier. And then we have Daniel Moore versus Solomon. Unfortunately, Solomon didn't show up, right? Was that the one?
No, it's not really an upset, because you see that Daniel Moore went further through and Solomon.
Oh wait, I messed up. Yeah, I wanted to say Ritums Jakobsons versus Ian Johnson. That's what I wanted to say, because Ian Johnson qualified 27th, which is a bit lower than I would have expected, but still,
Yeah, this time they're in swap positions. Ritums qualified along the previous race and went through as the
you're right.
As the upset king, and this time I guess Ian is trying to do the same. So now we have our and now we have our top 16 locked in and ready to go. Now we're going to go for a small 10-minute break. Like the stream and share the stream with your friends. And we're going to be back in 10 minutes for some even more intense door-to-door action when we go into the top 16, where every driver who is going to be driving has already won at least one battle. So there's going to be some insane runs that we're about to see. Grab a drink, follow the socials, like the stream, and we're going to be right back with you.
And unfortunately, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to be leaving after this, so sad to leave you all, but thank you for having me, and let's hope for some good battles in the top 16.
Oh, unfortunate. I'm going to have to cast the whole top 16 alone.
Yep.
Oh, and you're going to miss so much. That is going to be so fun.
All right, time for a break.
Oh, yeah. See you soon. Test. Am I live? I think I am. I am not sure about this. Okay. I am live indeed. Welcome back to the top 16 part of our top 32. Now it's going to be the second stage of battle. We're halfway through it already. We've got our next 16 drivers selected to go up against each other. Now, I'm going to be unfortunately left alone here on the caster's desk, which is going to be really sad for my brother because he did manage to see the first part of this competition and it was really intense, and pretty sure he can't wait to see the next part of it as we see the first group of drivers of the top 16 already warming up on the track. Look at the drift tandems there going 3 cars wide. Somebody going solo, somebody going in a duo. You can see 2 cars of Team ATDT side by side. They're just practicing up against each other, doing their solid runs. It looks like nobody is on the track anymore, so it might be a call to pits already and we're ready to proceed with our first tandem. Are we? Are we not? Our first tandem is going to be Darius Ostreika from Lithuania coming up against Fredrik Blokhus from Norway, and they're on the line and they're already ready to go. The light is green and the big flank initiation from Darius in the lead position, completely filling out outer zone 1. Now coming for the inside clip, and Fredrik is on Darius's door. Now going through outer zone chase right now. Really good proximity from Fredrik in the chase, but still keeping it perfect from Darius in the lead position. And a nice jump to get some more proximity from Fredrik in the chase. A little bit of a gap developing between them as Darius is still on a really good line. And what a jump from Fredrik there to catch up into outer zone 7. Wow, that was insanely aggressive at the very end there. Good proximity from Fredrik all the way throughout the track, but that last jump to get right on Darius's doors was just something wild. Yeah, friends, don't forget to smash the like button so the stream gets recommended to more and more people. And if you know some others, some of your friends that don't know about this stream yet who are into drifting, send the link to them. Maybe we can get some more people in and excited about Latvian sim drifting. And look at this again in the replay. Fredrik just going for a crazy jump to close all of that proximity. Excuse me, come again? Oh no, excuse me for a second. Okay, and it looks like it finally happened for the first time. My sound card gave up, but I only had to restart it, and we're now already way into the second run as we see Fredrik in the lead, putting up a solid job on Darius. Oh wow, what a wall tap from Fredrik there. Didn't crash out, but definitely not a good thing to do at the very end, out of zone 7 right there. But as we see the replay, Darius was extremely aggressive in the chase, just really close to Fredrik's door, all the way throughout the track. Perfectly timed transitions as well, and jumping into the pocket right here into outer zone 5. Now in the touch and go, and unfortunately a mistake here from Fredrik as we see. He goes a little bit too deep and taps the wall, but fortunately manages to quickly correct it and get across the finish line. Let's see. Let's bring up the scorecard. Slide them left for Darius and right for Fredrik. And it's a unanimous win for Darius in the top 16. So he's our first driver to advance into top 8. Unfortunately, must be the wall tap mistake that cost it for Fredrik this time, unfortunately. Better luck in the next race. So, and next up, we're going to have Luciano Carneiro going up against Luis Trevino. So it's going to be Portugal versus Spain. That's going to be an interesting battle. Luciano starting it in the lead position in the E46 and Luis chasing in the E36. And a nice aggressive initiation for Luciano, completely filling out outside zone 1. Now as they're coming over to the inside clip, Lewis is very close to Luciano's door. That's some great proximity right there. Great angle matching. And look at that proximity. Wow. He's just stuck on his door. That was so perfect. I couldn't really see any gap between them at all. Now losing some of it right here, but he's still really close. Now some gentle taps coming from outer zone 7 into the touch and go and into the outside zone 7 already. That was a really nice lead run from Luciano, but Lewis did some crazy things in the chase. Look at this. Let's look at it again in the replay. He's already really close from the beginning of it, but look at the jump here. He was already close, and then he goes for an even closer jump, and the proximity between them is just non-existent. There's just no space in between them. Unfortunately, he loses some space in the transition over to outer zone 5, but immediately managed to catch it all back up. That was some good job from Luis in the chase position, and of course also from Luciano in the lead. Crazy stuff. Already in the second run of our top 16. I can't wait what we're going to see in top 8 and top 4. That's just going to be mad. We've got some crazy tandem drivers today, not afraid to put it right on the other drivers' doors. A little bit of a delay, waiting to send them both off this time around and switch positions. Now Lewis from Team ATDT is going to be in the lead, and Luciano from Team Blind is going to be in the chase. And the lights are green and off they go. And a nice flick initiation as well from Lewis in the lead, completely filling outer zone 1. Luciano immediately on his door, aggressive angle coming over to the inside clip and now into outer zone 3. Luciano right on the doors of Lewis, immediately knows what he has to do. He knows that Lewis put up a good chase run himself, and he has to put up his one as well. Great into outer zone 5, just completely glued to the doors of Lewis is Luciano. Now at the touch and go and outer zone 7 already, and a small wall tap at from Lewis at the very end of it. But yeah, that was cool. This was a great battle from both of the drivers in both of the runs. Unfortunately, it looked like Lewis missed the inside clip a little bit. He was cooking it fast, but Luciano immediately knew that he has to follow the turn, follow the perfect line, just make everything that works. And he just keeps it perfect, just knows what he has to do. A little bit make everything there. Oh no, is that right? There is something going wrong with my audio setup. I have to apologize. I will try to restart my interface again. And let's see, is it better now? Did it fix itself? Andres is hearing robot sound, or at least was hearing robot sound. Oh no, I guess it means I will have to get a new interface, but unfortunately I'm into the rack-mounted ones, so they're like, I don't know, 300 to 500 at least. That's gonna be an expensive fix. Oh, definitely not gonna be fun, but at least I can fix it with a reset. So if I get a robotic voice again, so please notify me immediately in the chat. I'm listening to it. But we already have the scorecard and the results up, and it looks like Luciano is going to take the win in this battle with a unanimous win, as we watch the replay again, and only for a split second. Okay, so next up we're gonna have Juan Jorges going against Olaf Tagakula. So that's going to be Spain versus Estonia, an all-around E36 battle. Juan currently in the 7th position in our leaderboards, and Olaf currently in the 16th. So it's also a pretty close battle. And Juan starting in the lead and Olaf in the chase, and they're already off. And a nice flick initiation from Juan in the lead, completely filling out zone 1 again on Olaf in the chase, immediately on the doors, keeping the proximity going into outer zone 3 right now. Look at Olaf in the chase, perfectly mimicking everything that the lead driver is doing. perfectly timing the transition into outer zone 4 and getting back in the pocket after all the space he left for the transition. Now coming through the touch and go and into outer zone 7. Olaf is perfect in the lead, but you can't have a perfect lead chase without a perfect perfect chase run, without a perfect lead run. Perfect lead chase. What am I talking about? Great job from both the drivers. Wow, that was a great run. Can't wait to see the second part of it, because I really can't imagine that any one of them screws it up, even if the positions are mixed up, because it looks like they're both going the same exact speed. It's exactly what they've tuned for. Might have even been accidentally going up against each other in the practice, so they know how the other driver is doing, how the other driver is driving. Perfect run. Let's see them swapped up. And the lights are green and they're ready to go. Olaf in the lead, Juan in the chase. And a really nice initiation from Olaf, I'm sorry. But Juan immediately on Olaf's doors into outer zone 3 already. And look at the proximity from Juan here. A little bit of a bumping there. I don't know if it was with the wall or between drivers themselves. Now transitioning into outer zone 5 already. Juan still really close to Olaf's doors, coming up to the touch and go. Doesn't let go at all. Just wow, what a jump. And Juan hits Olaf after the jump with some wheel-to-wheel action and makes Olaf straighten out. I'm wondering if that was a mistake on the chase side, that he maybe overcooked it and hit the lead driver with the front wheel, and that made him spin out. I don't know. I didn't really see Olaf straightening out or losing any speed at all there. Let's see it again in the replay at the very end. Now here in outer zone 7. Yeah, definitely looked like it. Juan did shallow up quite a bit and was going for the jump to clear the distance. Let's see what the judges think about it. Chat, how do you think? Who takes the win? Who's at fault here? It wins. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get that in a competition setting, because somebody must advance, and we know that. We cannot just say that everybody wins, and it looks like we're watching the replay again. This time Juan's lead run and Olaf's chase looked really fast from Juan in the lead, but it didn't look like that's any issue from Olaf to catch up with it. And it's unanimous for Juan Jorges. He advances up into top 8. We're gonna have a judge join and explain the situation of why the call went the way it did.
Good evening again.
Again.
So for the spectators who have a bit different perspective, we saw from our perspective replay videos that Olaf, he was braking on the diesel zone, but his line was going in the tires. So regardless that Juan made the contact first, Olaf's line was going into the tires. That means like if split second later, and Olaf would be completely in the tires and it would be a crash there. So that's why the win goes with Juan.
Right. Well, unfortunate for Olaf there. Thanks for the judges to joining and explaining the situation. So it looks like Olaf was going in the wall anyways, from the judge's perspective. And if the contact would have happened just a split second later, it might have been still Olaf's fault, because he would already been in the tires. Apparently, unfortunately, we don't see everything here in the is not joining the chat, saying not true, but okay. Well, you can always protest the decision right after you see the decision in the in-game chat. Just type in protest and your reason why you think the decision was inaccurate. But unfortunately, you cannot submit protests in Twitch chat or YouTube chat, only in-game and right after they're announced. But up next, already lined up for the next run, for the last run of this half of top 16, is Armands Vestmanis in the lead and Daniels Romančiks in the chase. So Latvian overall battle, and Armands doing a big flag initiation, missing half of outer zone 1 unfortunately, but Daniels immediately on the doors of Armands. Armands now going through outer zone 3, and Daniels has found a good position in the pocket, completely mimicking the angle and the line and the speed of Armands there. Well, Armands still keeps up a perfect lead run as he does. Now coming into outer zone 7 already, Daniels is still right on the doors. Great mimic and great job from Daniels there. That was a really good run from him as well. Don't forget that he is going up against our current points leader in the whole entire season, Armands Vestmanis. So if you can put up a run like that up against him in the chase, then you're definitely someone to watch out for. Daniels, of course, qualified 12th yesterday, which is definitely nothing to scoff at. It's on the top end of the qualifying. So good job from him in the chase, and let's see if he can put a decent battle up against Armands Vestmanis in the lead position. So Daniels in the lead, Armands in the chase, and a big old flick initiation into outer zone 1, filling it a bit deeper than Armands is. But look at Armands in the chase, and look at him in the chase now. He has had a really good proximity at the first stage of the track, but then lost it somewhere between outer zone 3 and the inside clip, but now has gained it all back, reeled it in slowly already. Daniels decent in the lead position, filling the zones, not making many corrections at all, and Armands caught up to him at the very end, and it's a 360 from Daniels at the finish line. So let's watch it in replay again. Look at Armands here. He's really close to Daniels' doors, and now after the inside clip, just before outer zone 3, Armands loses a lot of ground there, immediately catches it up though, but that was a lot of ground lost. I don't know what happened there, what threw him off the line. But yeah, you can see the rest of Armands' chase run is just perfect, keeping the proximity exactly the same. Just a bit of a jump at the very end here to get just that little bit closer for the crossing of the finish line. And let's see what happens. So Armands qualified 5th and Daniels qualified 12th yesterday, so that is actually pretty close in the points. But let's see if we can see Daniels anywhere here in the overall leaderboard. Can I even find him? And I can't, and he wins the race. Well, that is definitely an upset. Daniels wins his battle against Armands Vestmanis, so probably that is something to that we probably would be interested to hearing the judge's opinion about, because that is quite of an upset to beat Armands Vestmanis in the top 16. So very interesting. What was the reason that swayed the judge's decision that way? But that is the end of the first half of our top 16. Now we're going to come up to the second half of it. On the other side of the bracket, we're going to have Vitaly Isayev, our number 2 qualifier, going up against Declan Donnelly, our 18th qualifier, who previously beat Mark O'Rourke in the top 32. Also an upset driver, and a young driver at that as well, starting at a young age. A lot of experience already and pretty tough in competitions. Then we're also going to have Benas Jonotis going up against Vaidas Šipola. We're going to have Andres Klembergs going up against Daniel Mora, and Ian Johnson going up against Bartosz Gorgon. So that's also going to be interesting. Some names that I haven't seen in tandems before are not only showing up, but getting some wins in and coming into top 16 as well. So a lot of interesting prospective changes that could be made to the overall standings board today. And while we're still waiting, if you want to get into the competition yourself, do join the Discord from the link in the description of the stream. Get yourself the DKRTR role assigned in the right channel, and then you can get access to the cars and to the tracks. The tracks are only known like a week before the race, so for now you can get access to the previous tracks. But anyways, we're seeing our drivers of the next half of top 16 already in the server practicing. No big drift tandems yet, but we see no drift trains. I mean, we see some great tandems already. Look at this, the blue E36 glued to the door of the other E36, I think. Oh yeah. Is this gonna be a near miss? Oh, well, that's a close miss. Not exactly critical, and this is a near miss. Wow. Oh no! Contact. So, is my mic okay? No robo voice? Oh, some contact again in the practices. Happens to the best of us. I think I can already recognize Andres' livery on the track in the white and red and black E36. The all original RTRiga livery for this car. Yeah, let's make some noise for the other part of the top 16. As we're looking at our bracket again. In the top 8 we already have Darius Ostrejka, Luciano Carnero, Juan Horace and Daniels Romanchuk. That's going to be some interesting battles in the top 8. Let's see who joins them from the other side of the bracket of the top 16 that we're up, that we have coming up now. Is it going to be Vitaly Sayo or Declan Donnelly? Or is it going to be Benas Ionotis or Vaidas Šipala? Or is it going to be Daniels Klembergs or Daniel Mora? Or is it going to be Ian Johnson or Bartosz Gorgon? Who's your favorite driver out of all of them, chat? Come on. Let's get some engagement going here. And we have the first drivers already lined up. Vitaly Sayev in the lead position, going up against Declan Donnelly in the chase. And E36 all over the battle. And a nice flick initiation from Vitaly in the lead, filling all of outer zone 1. Declan right on the doors immediately. Some gap developing between them before outer zone 3, but immediately reeled back in is Declan right on the doors of Vitaly. Nice, perfectly timed transition going into outer zone 4 and goes for a bit of a dive and just gets right on his doors at the very end of it. Now coming into outer zone 7 already and a bit of a gap again, but immediately dive bombing into the doors. Great run in the lead position from Vitaly. Some proximity left on the table by Declan in the chase, but overall that was a really good chase run. The dives were perfect from him. We look at that, he immediately got up to it. He didn't sacrifice any angle or any line for those dives, so he somehow managed to get those dives going without any sacrifices at all. He just went for it and knew immediately when to stop advancing, when to stop jumping. So that was some good car control from Declan there. Let's see how he does in the lead. While Vitaly gives him chase, nice flick initiation, and a really interesting initiation from Vitaly in the chase, but that puts him immediately on the doors of Declan. Now transitioning over to outer zone 3, a little bit of a correction from Declan in the lead, but Vitaly immediately knows what's up and gets up in the doors and completely mimics the correction as well somehow. Now into outer zone 5 already. Declan fights a little bit with the car to get some more angle out of it. You can see it in the tiny corrections, while Vitaly is still on the doors throughout all of the run, not really leaving any gap between them other than the tiny gap that developed between them before the inside clip and outer zone 3, as we see here. On this transition there was a tiny bit of a gap, but yeah, immediately cleared up, and I guess the small correction from Declan in the lead position also helped Vitaly to get back on the line, because Declan definitely did have to sacrifice some speed to get all that angle back. Might have been a bit more smooth lead run from Vitaly in this case, and a really decent, better proximity probably for him in the chase as well, but let's see what the judges think. I am not a judge, and for a definite reason. And I do not envy them as well. I would not like to be in their position, because all I want to see is more drift, so I would just vote one more time every single time. So let's see. The scorecard is up. We're ready to slide them left for Vitaly and slide them right for Declan. And it's a 1 vote for Vitaly. And it's unanimous for Vitaly Sayev, who goes into the top 8. Unfortunate for Declan Donnelly. This is where his upset run is going to end, in the top 16, unfortunately losing to Vitaly. But better luck in the next race. You really did a great job with the qualifying run in the 18th position, and also going through your battle in the top 32, beating Marko Rurk as well. So let's see if he can place higher in the next race. Up next, we're going to have Benas Jonutis coming up against Vaidas Šipaila. So that's going to be an all-around Lithuanian battle and an all-around E36 battle as well. They're lined up on the grid already, ready to go. Benas Jonutis, another one of our young drivers. He's 12 years old only and already participating in the drift competitions. Also drifting in real life as well. So new generation is showing what's up in the top 16 already, and they're off the line. Vaidas in the lead, Benas in the chase. A great initiation from Vaidas there, and Benas immediately on the doors as they're already coming up to outer zone 3. And look at the jump. Wow, that was a bit aggressive from Benas in the chase, and makes a lot of contact with Vaidas, who's in the lead, and kind of throws him off. So he has to basically, they have to back off a little bit, and he has to get settled in the new line, because Benas kind of messed his line and angle up all over the place, getting a little bit closer into outer zone 7 as well. But that was quite messy from Benas in the chase there. Very aggressive on the initiation from Vaidas, as we see in the replay, and good here into inside clip 2. And look at it here. Yeah, that was quite a jump from Benas in the chase, and that really looked like impacted a lot in Vaidas' run at that point. So it's good that Benas backed off and gave Vaidas some space to get back into his run. Doesn't look like any of the drivers completely straightened out, so it doesn't look like it's a complete zero run from both of them. But definitely a bit too aggressive from Benas in the chase. Let's see if he can keep it calmer in the lead position when he's swapped up already. It's going in the lead now, Vaidas in the chase. As we wait for the lights. Here they are, and let's see. And Benas with a wild flick initiation, missing a lot of outer zone 1, and Vaidas immediately on the door, nice on the inside clip and coming into outer zone 3. Much better from Vaidas in the chase position here, not too aggressive, perfectly judges the speed of the lead driver, and the transition timing is perfect as well as they come into outer zone 5 already. Great job from Benes in the lead and from Vidas in the chase, and a bit of a correction here just before outers on 7. Benes loses a lot of angle, trades it for all the speed he can get, so he gains some ground on Vidas at the very end, but at the cost of a lot of angle. So that was almost straightening there. Yeah, he missed a lot of outers on 1 as well. Vidas did a perfect job, in my eyes, in the chase position. Look at it here in outers on 3. He's very close to the doors of Benes, perfectly matching the angle. Benes adding some more angle at the end of outer zone 3. Doesn't upset Vidas at all. So here in outer zone 5, that's already, or 4. Oh, I'm messing them all up already by the numbers. I'm not a maths professor. Leave me alone. Okay, let's see what the judges are gonna think about that. Chat, how do you think? Who won this one? Definitely an interesting battle. Some mistakes on the board. And it's 2 votes for Vidas already, so he's definitely advancing to the next round, and it is, in the end, also unanimous. So congratulations to Vidas for the win in this battle. Unfortunate for Benes, our 26th qualifier, not going through to the top 8. And next up, we're gonna have a weighted battle of Andris Kleinberg going up against Daniel Mora. That is going to be a really fun watch. That is going to be really interesting. Andris is going to be starting in the lead in the E36, and Daniel is going to be in the chase in the E46. Racing Team Riga versus Team Blind, Latvia versus Portugal. Let's see. The lights are green and they're off. And Andris does a big flick initiation, of course, into outer zone 1, completely filling it. Daniel right on the door immediately as they go through the inside clip, coming up to outer zone 3. Daniel does a wild jump to get up to Andris' doors, but gives him a little love tap as they come around and transition over into outer zone 5. Daniel very close to Andris' doors. Andris, though, doing a great job in the lead position, just smooth and steady, planting it, not changing his angle at all, and just keeps it very consistent throughout all of the run, giving Daniel a really good chance to get in the pocket without any corrections and to follow it, which Daniel uses wisely as well. He stays in it throughout all the way, all throughout the run. So now Andris knows that he has to do a great job in the chase position, so we're going to see some more of that aggro Andris chasing. Definitely waiting for that. Great job in Daniel from Daniel here, though. Love to see that. It's really not easy to put up a good chase run up against Andris because he's really fast. It's really hard to catch him. And as they're swapped up and Daniel's going first, they're already off the line since the lights are green. And also a big flick initiation from Daniel into outer zone 1, completely filled it. Andris, of course, does what he does best and immediately gets on the doors of Daniel. Daniel still going through in the perfect line, but look at Andris, the proximity is just perfect. The mimicking is insanely good. As they go through outer zone 5 right now, Andris just reeling him slowly back in, just inching up towards the door of Daniel's, already past touch and go into outer zone 7. Andris still on doors across the finish line. Very smooth from Daniel in the lead, and also that lets Andris to just do a perfect chase run. Just sticks it right on the door of Daniel throughout all of the track. Not really any major corrections seen from my side from any of the drivers here in these runs. Fantastic job. Oh, does this go to an OMT? We haven't had an OMT yet today, chat. Do you think this is our first OMT or not? Because both of the drivers, I think, did pretty well. Might be that Andris won this out just barely with his chase run, but we'll see. As the scoreboard is up already. Sorry, scorecard. And it goes to Andris Kleinberg unanimously. So no luck, unfortunately, from Daniel Mora this time around. Daniel Mora, I'm sorry. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing any of those correctly, though, so... Daniel, let me know if I'm mispronouncing your surname, and I'll try to do better next time around. Okay, and now we're coming up to the last battle of our top 16, which is going to be Ian Johnson, our 27th qualifier this time, going up against Bartosz Gorgon, who is our 11th this time. So if Ian wins, it's going to be an upset win from him, at least as far as the qualifying scores are concerned. Portuguese names are in point. Okay, thank you for that. So now we have Bartosz in the lead, Ian giving him chase. Nice initiation from Bartosz there, but Ian immediately on the doors, keeping the proximity as close as he can. Bartosz doing a great job coming into outer zone 3, but Ian completely mimicking the angle and the line there, keeping it on the door, perfectly timed transition, coming into outer zone 4, and Ian just snuggles up in the pocket, right in the doors of Bartosz, getting as close as he can, completely mimicking everything that Bartosz does in the lead, and they're across the finish line already. That was a really good run from both of the drivers. You put them side to side, you can't even tell who's the 27th, who's the 11th qualifier, to be honest. They both did a really good job in this run, and now Bartosz has a lot to do in the chase position now, seeing that Ian put up such a great run up against him. That's going to be crazy. I really can't wait for the top 8. I'm going to see some insane driving in there. Look at this. Just perfect angle mimic from Ian there. Might be missing a tiny little bit in the proximity department towards the very end there, but it's nothing too important. At least he was consistent with it, didn't do any big corrections. But now we see them swapped up in positions. Ian's going to be leading and Bartosz is going to be chasing. Ian does a massive initiation into outer zone 1, completely filling it. Bartosz like a half car's gap away from him. Now coming into outer zone 3, and a big jump from Bartosz in the chase to catch up to Ian. Puts himself right in the pocket as they transition over now into outer zone 5. Again, a smaller gap developing, and doesn't manage to reel him in this time around. So there is like a car's length between them, coming through the touch and go and into outer zone 7, and Bartosz goes for a dive to catch up into Ian's door. But yeah, wasn't as perfect proximity wise from Bartosz in the chase. Very similar lead runs though. Ian definitely does show us a good performance in the lead position here. Really consistent and really smooth throughout all the zones. Didn't really miss any of the zones, at least from my point of view. And Bartosz maybe just struggles a little bit here in the outer zone 5, where the speed is the highest on the track and in the touch and go. So struggles to catch up and only manages to get the ground up by not braking that much in the braking zone, in the diesel zone, I guess. Nevertheless, good job from both the drivers. We see the semaphore parked between them as well. Since after this run we are resetting the server, getting the top 8 drivers in. Let's see the last runs again. Let's see Bartosz in the lead and Ian in the chase. Once again, look at the proximity and angle and line matching from Ian here. It's just perfect and timed the transition very well. Wasn't the snappiest transition from Bartosz as well, so it was easy to time it for Ian as they go through the touch and go and into outer zone 7. Yeah, just slowly reeling him in, not going for a big dive, was Ian there. But still, that was some good proximity, good distance. Careful distance. Didn't want to crash into him just before the last zone, because of course that's where our only diesel area is, just before outer zone 7. So if you want to be a bit sneaky with it, you could probably do some braking shenanigans to make the other driver crash into you. Of course not recommended, you never should do that, but some drivers sometimes do that. Not saying that here, but I've seen them around. And as we see the scorecard appear, and it's going to be a unanimous one more time. So this is their first one more time of today. Yeah, the first one more time of the day is coming at the very end of top 16. Let's see them going up against each other, getting some fresh tires on the cars and coming up to the starting line again. We're going to see with Bartosz starting in the lead and Ian in the chase for their second. Let's hope that none of them quit the server and have to rejoin. And they're already ready to go for the next run. Lights are green, Bartosz in the lead, as I said, and Ian in the chase. And the flick initiation from Bartosz, completely filling outer zone 1. A little bit of an angle mismatch from Ian there, but keeping the proximity up. Now coming into outer zone 3, going for a bit of a dive, tapping Bartosz's door with his front tire almost already. Now again, another perfectly timed transition into outer zone 5, and reeling back into proximity is Ian as they go through the touch and go and approaching outer zone 7, still side to side. Oh, so close from Ian. The wheel clipped through Bartosz's wheel. Wow, that was crazy. How was that not a wheel-to-wheel contact? I don't know, because visually they definitely clipped through each other. That was so close. Insane. Really good job from Bartosz in the lead position here as well. He puts up a lot of angle and completely fills all of the zones, does everything that the judges are expecting from a lead driver on this track. Not really any diesels except the last diesel zone where of course it is expected. And Ian just manages to perfectly match the diesel as well, just getting right on the doors of Bartosz. That was a crazy diesel zone. It's really risky to keep your proximity throughout the diesel zone, but let's see how they do in mixed positions. Ian in the lead and Bartosz in the chase, and a really nice initiation from Ian there, filling all of outer zone 1 now as they come into the inside clip. Now bumper to bumper transition into outer zone 3, very close proximity from Bartosz there, like, I don't know, a quarter of a gap between them, perfectly timed transition when coming into outer zone 5 already. Perfect mimic from Bartosz in the chase. Ian doing a really good job in the lead and taps the wall and straightens out quite a bit. Is that all she brought for Ian? Is that the mistake that is going to decide it all for this battle? Unfortunately, looked really good from Ian in the lead there up until the very end of the track where he tapped the wall. Unfortunately, it did look like an independent mistake. Let's see it again in the replay if we can verify that. And here comes the touch. No, this is outer zone number 5. And coming into the touch and go, and here just slides a little bit too much. Yeah, and did look like he tapped the wall on his own. Bartosz was as aggressive as Ian was in his chase run, also didn't leave any room in the diesel zone, but it didn't look like he hit him. So it's going to be 2 votes for Bartosz already. And that's a unanimous victory from Bartosz Gorgon, who's our last driver to join our top 8. Congratulations, and unfortunate for Ian Johnson, race ends here in the top 16 this time around. So we have our top 8 drivers all squared up already. We're going to have Darius Ostrejka going up against Luciano Carneiro. We're going to have Juan Jorges going up against Daniels Romanchuks. Then on the other side, we're going to have Vitaly Isayev going up against Vaidas Šipaila, and Andris Klembergs going up against Bartosz Gorgon. That is going to be some fun battles. Darius Ostrejka, our number 1 qualifier, is still up in the run to get his perfect event. Same as Mark Rourke did the last race. Darius is looking to repeat his success in this race. Let's see if he can manage that. Also, Vitaly Isayev is going for an almost perfect race. Qualified 2nd yesterday and still in the run in our top 8. Has to battle Vaidas Šipaila then to get into the quarterfinals if he wants to advance. And also our 3rd qualified, Andris Klembergs, is also in the lead. And the 4th qualified, Juan Jorges, is also lead. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. All 4 of them still in the battle for the first place of this event. So all 4 of them still can get very good points for this race taking into account that they're also scoring quite high on the points for their qualifying runs, they're also going to score quite high in the points for the race itself. So it's going to be interesting to see how the positions shift in the overall standings after today's race. And if anybody develops a clear gap between the others to take the victory for the points. Let's see what we can have happen. So Armand's Westmanis unfortunately got dropped out in top 16 already. Our current top one in points. As I see that the overall is already updating live as we go. So at the moment he's still first with 315. The next one is Mark with 255. So that is quite a big of a gap already developed between them. And all the other drivers definitely need to score a lot and if not even win the race to even have a shot at that #1 spot. Probably it might be unreachable for anybody, even though they win the race. But yeah, I don't know the maths. I don't know the numbers. We'll see what happens. We see that the drivers of the top 8 are already in the server practicing. Come on guys, let's get a drift train going. Stop practicing one by one. Get some trains going. We have the first tandem in the practice server coming in. Good doors. That looks like Andris Kleinbergs again. Yeah. Definitely recognizing that livery. Ooh, that was a close miss. And another one. Chat, who's winning the race? How do you think? What's our final battle is going to be? What are your predictions? Betting Darius Ostreika versus Andris Kleinbergs is going to be the final battle. So drivers should be already well warmed up and ready to go. It has been quite some time that they have gotten their practice runs in the server already. We can hear there's a lot of smoke on the track. And the track is clear, and that might be the call for our first battle to come up. That's going to be Darius Ostrejka going up against Luciano Carnero, who's going to be our first driver in the top 4 is going to be decided in this race. Darius Ostrejka from Lithuania from Team Automobiļu is going to start it in the lead, and Luciano Carnero from Portugal from Team Blind in the chase. Already off the line. The light is green, a big flick initiation from Darius in the lead, while Luciano is on the door in the chase as they come through the inside clip, transitioning over to outside zone 3. A big dive from Luciano in the chase to get on the doors of Darius. Nice job in the chase position from him as Darius keeps it consistent in the lead. Quite a bit of a break there going in outer zone 5 from Darius. It looked like that allowed Luciano to catch up perfectly, but maybe not the best thing to do from Darius there. And as they're through outer zone 7 already and across the finish line, yeah, this track comes to the finish faster than I can talk sometimes. The drivers get so many things going that it's really hard to say everything that is going on at the time that it is going on. Great race from both the drivers, nevertheless, as we see it in the replay again. Great job from Darius in the lead, keeping it clean, keeping it cool, keeping it consistent, going through all the zones, but just a little bit of correction there in outer zone 5. Just didn't have enough angle and needed to add a little bit more of it. And you can see the jump from Luciano there to get right into the pocket to go across the finish line. Let's see how they do when they run in swap positions, when Luciano is going to be in the lead now in the E46, and Darius is going to be chasing him in the E36. So Darius definitely needs to keep the proximity close to have a good fighting chance in this battle. Luciano, a big flick and completely filling outer zone 1, but Darius immediately on the doors. Some left foot braking there and some corrections completely missing inside clip 2 from Luciano. Good now coming through outer zone 3, and great proximity from Darius there. He definitely found the pocket and all of the proximity there. A bit of a gap between outer zone 4, but immediately does a jump back in line from Darius. Now they're going through the touch and go in outer zone 7 already. Good from Luciano there, smooth, steady angle, and Darius just gets in the pocket to go across the finish line. Great job from both of them, unless the small mistake right here before the inside clip. There might have been some contact. Luciano might have overcooked it a little bit, but Darius might have wanted to go a little bit on a shallower line to actually hit the inside clip, but Luciano was way too far off it already. So yeah, might not be the perfect matching and mimicking from Darius in the chase, but that was also a big line mistake from Luciano in the lead there. Let's see what the judges think about that. Definitely leaving some points on the board and some things to be discussed. Some improvements would be necessary for Luciano to get this to be a perfect run. I did like the initiation though. He completely filled outer zone 1 and he was right on the edge of it, risking it all in the first zone where, as we all know, it's really easy to hit one of the orange pylons and just completely spin out and just end your run in the first zone. We definitely saw that happen yesterday as well. Not from many drivers, but when it happens, it's catastrophic usually. And let's see the replay again with Darius in the lead. I hope that wasn't a 3-point initiation that the judges are looking right now, because it was a lot of flicks from Darius in the lead there initiating. Luciano did a perfect job here in the chase. Just very close proximity to Darius from him here. And a nice jump here to get on the doors as well. It gives him a little bit of a tap on the doors with the wheel. And another deep dive here just before the finish line in outer zone 7 to get that proximity going. Great job from Luciano in the lead for sure. Felt very aggressive. Definitely knew that what he's doing. definitely putting up a competitive run, not leaving it in the judges' hands, at least in the chase. Watching the other run in the replay right now, maybe the judges want to deliberate a little bit more on that mistake between outer zone 1 and inside clip 2. Bit of a nail biter here for sure. Is this going to be an OMT? Chat? We just had our first one. We just had our first OMT at the end of top 16. Are we gonna get our second one at the first battle of top 8 already? So that would be 2 OMTs in a row. And let's see what the judges decide. We're up in the scorecard screen of things, and 1 vote for Darius Ostrejka. Let's see what the other 2 judges decide on, and it's going to be 2 votes for Darius and 1 vote for an OMT. So Darius is taking the win and is our first driver to advance into top 4. We're going to have a judge hop in and explain the decision of this outcome. Hey.
Hey guys, yeah, this requires a bit of an explanation. So when we first looked online on the collision, it looked like Darius's mistake. But then we started to look on the replays, and Luciano, he was braking on the initiation, and he was not gaining speed also on the initiation on the outside zone 1. He was also 10 kilometers hour below normal outside zone 1 speed. And we checked what Darius was doing. He was avoiding the contact, so we deemed the fault to Luciano.
See, yeah. So that's the mistake, unfortunately. Missing some speed going through outside zone 1, and we have a protest. I'm getting another call in my ear, and let's see what is going to be the outcome of the protest. That I'm gonna hear in my ear probably in a few minutes, because it's not a quick thing to decide. Of course, the judges have to read the protest and have to make up their mind and reply to it, of course. That is not something that you can immediately answer. But I think that is the first protest that we're ever having in a race. Interesting that somebody finally used it. We haven't had that used in any of the other races, at least in this series. Maybe somebody has protested in the earlier ones when I wasn't around. Yeah, I'm hearing in my ear that there have been protests before, but apparently not when I was around, so I don't know. Westman is not so today. Well, there are hits and there are misses, unfortunate, yeah. Still, you're pretty solid in your top 1 position in the overall results at the moment. Was too slow and too low scale. Don't know about that. Yeah, so in the protest, the same things that were just explained by the judges here was explained to the driver as well, and the outcome of the protest is still the same. Darius Ostrejka still takes the win for this battle. So unfortunate for Luciano here. Better luck in the next race. Unfortunate to drop out as the top 8 qualifier. Definitely was hoping to get a better result, but that's what happens when you go up against the number 1 qualifier. The stakes are high, easy to lose. But next up, we're going to have Juan Jorge is already on the line in the lead position, going up against Daniels Romanchuk from Latvia. Let's see how they do. Juan in the lead with a big flick initiation, completely filling outer zone number 1 as they go around the inside clip. Daniels is right on the doors of Juan, now transitioning over into outer zone 3. Daniels manages to find the ground and reel back in. A bit of a shallower line though, exiting outer zone 3, and wow, what a dive into outer zone number 4. Gets back on the door again, doesn't really leave any space between them for a long time, just immediately fixes the issue, and already into outer zone 7. Really good job from Juan in the lead, and very aggressive from Daniels in the chase, immediately rectifying when he doesn't have enough proximity, immediately jumping in for a dive right there, as we see here, going into outer zone 3. But this wasn't the craziest of them. He shallows up a little bit here and leaves some space between them, and immediately catches up coming into outer zone 5. That was very risky. That was really risky. As you see them now going through the touch and go and coming into the last outer zone, he still keeps it on the door. No wall taps, no funny business, just some aggressive chasing from Daniels there. Love to see that. Our 12th qualifier going up against our 4th qualifier. Let's see how he does in the lead now in E46, and if Juan can keep up to him in the chase. The lights are green and they're ready to go. Tires smoking and a big massive flick initiation from Daniels there in the lead. Juan quite close to his door now in the chase, as they're already past the inside clip and going to outer zone 3. Juan did need to find some more angle to match it perfectly, so it wasn't a perfect transition now as they're going into outer zone 5 already. Juan is right on the doors of Romans, while Romans is still keeping up the perfect lead line going, keeping it in drift, and a nice dive again for the last part of outer zone 7, but loses some ground even after the dive is Juan. That is a bit interesting. Let's see it in the replay again. Overall, quite a good job from both the drivers in both positions. Here, as you can see, Juan didn't really transition perfectly over before outside zone 3. Yeah, he did have to get some more angle when he was already in the zone. That might be somewhat of a deduction already. But let's see at the end here. He's really good in proximity. Does a dive and then brakes again, not to crash into Daniels. So interesting what happened there and who gets the win, because of course both of them do want to get in the top 4. Both of them do want to get to the podium to get some points on the board for the overall standings. Both drivers showed that they're here to battle it out today. Of course, also the last chance to get a Latvian driver in this side of the bracket coming into the top 4. On the other side, our only chance is Andris Kleinbergs, who's going to be going last in our top 8. So our top 4 is definitely not going to be as filled with Latvians as it was the previous race. As we're watching the replay again of Juan in the lead and Daniels chasing him. Yeah, look at the proximity from Daniels there. Really good job. Too bad he did shallow up here before outer zone number 5. But that's still okay because he immediately dive bombed back into position, back on Juan's doors. And let's see who takes the win. Left for Juan and right from Daniels. And it's a one more time, not a unanimous one. One of the judges votes for Juan, but 2 of them vote for a one more time. So it's going to be a one more time between those 2. A really good nail-biter battle. Let's see, we're probably going to see them run at the end of this top 8. So we're most likely going to continue with... Nope, it's going to be them running back to back immediately. So Juan is back in the lead and Daniels is back in the chase. And again, another aggressive flick initiation from Juan in the lead. And Daniels, of course, immediately on the door as Juan goes with massive angle transitioning into outer zone 3. And look at the proximity from Daniels right on the doors. 2 dive bombs perfectly calculated to get right in the doors of Daniels. And another one in outer zone 5 as well. So close to him. That is a really good job in the chase position from Daniels there. I can't really see what Juan is doing in the lead there because Daniels is just stealing the spotlight. Really hard to notice what's going on in the lead if the chase is putting up such a show. Look at Daniels here. He's very close, starting from outer zone 1 already. A little bit of a gap before, but that's immediately closed up by Daniels there. And a second bit of a dive there as well, but it's really well calculated in transitions as well. He definitely knows what to anticipate from Juan here. And Juan kept his job up in the lead position as well. Filled all the zones perfectly. The initiation was perfect. Outer zone 1 was perfect. And let's see how they do in swap positions. Daniels in the lead now. Juan in the chase and a massive initiation for Daniels. Completely filling outer zone 1. Juan falling back a tiny little bit as they come into outer zone 3. He gets a bit closer to him, not exactly door to door, but that's still a great mimic of angle and line and speed as well. Now reels him back in the pocket into outer zone 5 as Daniels is going through it perfectly, completely filling it as they're in outer zone 7 already, and the gap between them is basically non-existent as Juan manages to close the doors at the very last zone. Wow, what a battle. Really good. Really good. Apparently both of them managed to learn and study the other driver in the first attempt of this battle perfectly. So they both definitely knew what they had to do in the chase position, how to best chase the other driver that they're going up against right now. This is going to be another nail-biter because I really am having a hard time telling who did better this time around. Chat, what do you think? Is it Daniels or is it Juan? Because I think this one is even harder to decide who won than the previous one. They both did a great job. Let's see, we most likely have the decision in already because we're seeing a scorecard and one of the drivers again votes one more time, but two of them vote for Juan, so Juan's going to be taking the win in this battle. Unfortunately for Daniels, he definitely puts up a hell of a fight up against our number 4 qualifier, but unfortunately dropping out in top 8 of this competition. I hope we see you in the next race because you really did a great job in qualifying as well, and in the battles, better luck next time around. And now we come to the other side of our bracket in the top 8, which is going to be first Vitaly Isayev going up against Vaida Shipaila. So that's also going to be an interesting battle to watch. Our number 2 versus our number 10 qualifier, as they're already coming up to the starting line. And overall E36 battle, Ukraine versus Lithuania. Vitaly is going to start in the lead and Vaidas is going to give him chase. And the lights are green already, no time to lose, as they're off already, and a nice calculated initiation from Vitaly, completely filling outer zone 1 right on the edge of the track. Vaidas very close to him in the doors as they go through now outer zone 3 already. Vaidas has managed to solve all the proximity issues to reel it in right into Vitaly's door as they're already into outer zone number 5. Vaidas is just right there in the pocket all the way throughout the zone. No corrections from Vitaly in the lead as well, that allows Vaidas to just keep it on the throttle and keep it in the doors. Great run from both of the drivers. Love to see this. A very calculated initiation from Vitaly here. He was just right on the edge of the track into outer zone 1. Perfectly transitioning here into outer zone 3 as well. Just keeping the throttle exactly constant, it looks like. No corrections at all. A bumper-to-bumper transition to come here into outer zone 5, and then reeling him even more in is Vaida Shipaila. That was a really good chase run, considering who he's going up against, our number 2 qualifier. That is a very good job. Let's see if Vitaly can keep it up in the chase and show his dominance here as well. As Vitaly is going to lead now, and Vaidas is going to lead now, and Vitaly is going to chase. Good initiation from Vaidas, but Vitaly, of course, he's right there in the doors as they already go into outer zone 3. Vitaly is with the tire right on Vaidas' doors, and another bumper-to-bumper transition coming into outer zone 5. Look at the proximity from Vitaly this time around. He throws it right back at Vaidas. completely mimicking his chase run, if not even getting closer to it. Look at it across the finish line. Others on 7. There's absolutely no space between them at the very end of the track. Again, very good from both of the drivers here. We see that we're already getting to the top of our competition. Our best drivers are getting closer to finding the winner of this race, and it's getting harder and harder to say who is it going to be, because the runs are getting better and better. Crazy run from them both. Another OMT, chat? Is it gonna be another OMT? Nope, we're gonna watch the replay one more time. Hideka says Virus is better. Maybe. I am having a really hard time to decide who to give it to, because I liked them both. I liked both of their runs. Both had really close transitions and really good mimic of the other drivers, both line and angle and speed. Yeah, both were really good. This is almost a final worthy run, but as we see the scorecard come up already, that means we do have a decision, and it's going to be unanimous for Vitaly Isayev this time around. So unfortunate for Vidas to fall out of competition in top 8 with such a great run. But unfortunately, that's going to be it from him in this race. Let's hope to see you back in the next one for some more heater races. Yeah, nice try indeed. Well, that it is what it is. If you're going up against the number 2 qualifier, the battle is going to be difficult. You already know it before you even stop at the starting line for the first run. You already know that you're in it for a heater of a run. And at the moment, we have our top 1, 2, and 4 in our qualifying have already qualified to the top 4. So is it going to be our number 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the top 4? We're going to find out after this battle, which is going to be Andris Kleinbergs in the lead, going up against Bartosz Gorgon in the chase. Latvia versus Poland. Andris going for a big flick initiation, almost runs Bartosz off the track there. I wonder what happened there, but Bartosz is pretty close to Andris already as they're going into outer zone 3. Nice, slowly reeling him in is Bartosz, as Andris keeps the lead run perfect and smooth and steady, as he does a little bit of a dive from Bartosz there to get some proximity going, keeping it very close. Very respectable chase run there, as they're already coming into outer zone 7 and a bit of another smaller dive, but still doesn't get extremely close to Andris doors, but keeping the proximity really good nevertheless. Good mimic on the angle and of the line and speed as well from Bartosz there. He does prove why he is there in the top 8, defending his place. Definitely a driver worth being there. And a nice bumper-to-bumper transition here before outer zone 5 and immediately getting all the lost ground back up. Let's go, Andris, indeed. I'm a bit biased since I'm also a Racing Team Riga driver. So, of course, I wish the best of luck to him, but I can't be biased because I'm also casting here. So best of luck to both of the drivers. Let's see how Bartosz can do in the lead position against Andris in the chase. Nice flick initiation from Bartosz there, completely fills outer zone 1, but Andris is immediately on his doors, transitioning over into outer zone 3 already. Andris does what he does best, and he just sets it and forgets it in the pocket. Just puts his car in, puts his hand in the pants pocket of Bartosz and says, I'm gonna go for a walk with you here. Just don't go anywhere, I am right here. Putting the pressure up all the way throughout the run. Really good from Bartosz, but once again, really hard to focus on the lead run when you have such a chase run going there. Good job from Andris. Might have been a little bit more consistent and smooth from him in the chase, but still, I couldn't decide who to give the victory here to. I would say one more time, because I just want to see more drifting. It was clean from Andres in the chase, exactly. An unfortunate A-Drift 239 didn't have time to compete. We still have one more race coming in the end of October, in about a month, almost exactly a month. We're gonna have the last race of this season going. But let's see, do we get our number 1, 2, 3, and 4 qualifiers going up against each other in top 4? That is also something that I don't think I've seen before. That is just the best qualifier, just completely dominate the event this time around. Let's see it in replay again. Why not? Those are some great runs. Andres in the lead in this one, and Bartosz in the chase. You can see that he definitely also put up a really decent chase run. Maybe a bit of a correction there in outer zone 4 or 3, or this is 4. This is 4. Yes. No, this is 5. Oh man. I already can't tell anymore. It's been a long night. I've been casting here alone since the start of top 16, so my speaking skills are running out minute by minute, but we see the scorecard up here already, so that means we do have a decision from the judges, and it's going to be unanimous for Andres Kleinbergs. So we do get our top 1, 2, 3, and 4 qualifiers battling it out in the top 4. So our top qualifiers are dominating the event. That is really fun. That is not something that you see every day. Usually you see like at least one upset in top 4 sometimes. At least that has been the history of this event. Congrats to Andres for his victory in the top 8 battle, and unlucky, unfortunately, for Bartosz Gorgon. Let's see you in the next race. Good luck there as well in the last race of the season. But now, are you ready to see who is going to be going to the final? Our first battle in the top 4 is going to be Darius Ostrejka going up against Juan Jorges, our number 1 versus number 4 qualifier. That is going to be a crazy battle, and the winner of it is going to go to the finals. And the other battle, we're going to have Vitaly Isayev going up against Andres Kleinbergs. And we still have a chance to get an RTRiga driver in the finals. Let's see if Andres can defend the honor of our own racing team. He has already gotten this far, and he is currently 5th in our overall scores on the leaderboard. So the points for getting in the finals definitely wouldn't hurt him to just move himself just a bit higher up in the overall leaderboard. Definitely wants that. And also Juan, who is currently 8th in the leaderboard, also wants all the points he can get. I think Darius Ostrejka still has 0 points on the overall leaderboard, so he puts himself up for a good chance of getting at least in the top 20 for the overall leaderboard after this race. That is quite a jump from his current position of, it says 91, so that could be quite a big of a jump. And Vitaly, is he also in the same boat? Yeah, he is also 86th, and he also doesn't have any points at the moment in the overall scores. So those are 2 drivers that are putting up some big points, and since they are still in competition, their points haven't been finalized for the drivers who have already dropped out of competition. Their points and position on the leaderboard has already updated, but it's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say. So we have to wait until these last battles concede, until we can completely understand what the situation with the scores is on the overall board. But at the moment, Armand Westman is at least solid in the first with 315, and Mark is behind him with 255. So that is a big lead. Let's see if Andres Kleinbergs, who's currently in 5th with 207 points, maybe he can inch out an overall first place after this race. So let's see how many points he manages to get, because he has a great chance of getting up there for sure. And so does Juan Jorge, who's currently 8th with 189 points. So definitely a chance to upset at least the top 3 in the overall scoreboard. What an exciting race. I, of course, am always expecting exciting races, but it's always somehow even more exciting than I expect it to be. That's great. I love it. Luckily, my co-caster, my dog, is not too upset at the moment, and she's letting me run all the way throughout the end. She's looking at me strange at the moment, though. She doesn't understand what I'm doing, just sitting here talking to myself. Yeah, who do you think will take the top 3? Oh, I am talking with you. It's just from the perspective of my dog. I'm talking to myself, if you know what I mean. I am definitely talking to all of you right now. Shout out to Jetta one more time. One of our map makers. I don't know if you had involvement in this one, but he definitely had involvement in the previous one. In the Bijaniki Pizza layout, if you remember that one. And some others as well. I don't know from the top of my head. We'll already see drivers of the top 4 warming up for their runs in the server. This one's only members, so that's Baltic Raceworks vendors. You do track for next round though. Okay. That'll be great. Can't wait to see. Jetta, who do you think is gonna take this one? How do you think who's gonna win? Anybody else? Any prognosis? Any forecast on who's gonna be the winner of this? We already see some pretty sick tandems going on here in the practice server. Some great proximities, some bumper-to-bumper transitions. Because mind you, this is a really fast layout for what this track is. This is the fastest layout I think you can get on this track. And it's really unfortunate that this is a layout that is not going to be happening in real life. I would love to see it. Adrift was all in for Luciano. Oh no, unfortunately, if you bet your house on that, then you don't have a house anymore. Sorry. And it looks like we see 5 drivers practicing, even though we only have 4 that need to run at the moment. I don't know who is the 5th. Somebody else apparently has joined the server just for some fun, just for some laps. You like to see people in the top 4 that you see for the first time that high. Oh yeah, absolutely. Darius Ostrejka and Vitaly Isayev, both with no points in the current championship and both already in top 4. And they were both number 1 and number 2 qualifiers. Imagine that. Just coming out of nowhere, completely blasting the competition away with their scores. Pretty crazy. Just for 1 month, I trust him for next round. Oh yeah. Let's hope we see him back. So we have our first drivers in the top 4 already lining up for the run, for their first run. We are gonna have Darius Ostrejka in the lead and Juan Jorge is in the chase, and the lights are already green. as they go for an initiation. And a big angle initiation from Darius there, completely filling outer zone 1. Juan doing, of course, perfect job in the chase, right on the doors as they come even before outer zone 3. We get some camera angles that I've never seen before going on there, as they're already transitioning over into outer zone number 5. Really good job from Darius there in the lead, but Juan is right there in the chase, in the pocket, right on the doors. And wow, what a dive here in outer zone 7. It looked like he might have tapped Darius in the doors a little bit with his front tire. Really hard to tell, but it didn't look like Darius was affected by that in any way. Definitely a top 4 worthy of a run here from both of the drivers. Nice and aggressive from Darius there in the lead, but at the same time very smooth and no corrections at all here. And as we see from Juan, he does some big dives to get right into position, and he times them perfectly as well, so he doesn't crash into Darius, who's in the lead right now. And yeah, it did look like he did do some contact and push Darius a little bit to the front, but luckily that didn't cause him to crash out. Yeah, Darius' lead seems really strong indeed. He's really good with those. And now let's see Juan in the lead and Darius in the chase, with smoking tires already off the line, and also an aggressive big angle initiation from Juan, and Darius immediately on the doors as well. Now switching over into outer zone 3 now. Darius keeps the proximity going, and Juan keeps the perfect angle going with no corrections at all. So Darius, of course, leaves some space for the transition and immediately reels him back in on the doors, completely mimicking his angle and speed and line. And also another reel in right at the end of outer zone 7 and across the finish line. Really similar runs from both the drivers in both positions, I would say. Might be another one more time, because they both did a great job. I didn't really see many mistakes, except from the previous run when Darius was in the lead and Juan was in the chase. There was that contact, I think, for which probably Juan was at fault, but I don't know. I really don't want to jinx it for any one of them, so I'm just going to keep it as a hypothetical. But look at this, really good job from Darius in the chase. Absolutely no contact whatsoever, and just right on the nose with the proximity. Really good. Let's see who goes to the finals. Chat, what do you think? Does Darius Ostrejka get to do a perfect event? Because he was our top 1 qualifier. Does he go to the final? Does he get a chance for a perfect event, same as Marko Rourke did last time? And we got Moist saying that Darius is going to get that number 1. Let's see about that. I might be leaning that way too, because we've seen him to be very consistent today. All the way through the race, he has been just perfect and surgical in the leads and in the chases. That push on the end, yeah, that was a thing to behold. I really love seeing when drivers go for some dives to get that ground up, and that they time it so perfect that they don't crash into the lead driver, but there is just absolutely no gap between them. And let's see the replay as well. Judges also cannot decide just from watching those runs in live and in the replay just one time. Yeah, interesting. What's going on with the cameras here? We've got some cameras switching right in the middle of the zones, a bit unexpected. Jet is for Darius. You think he might have missed one box in the chase, at least from the stream camera, and oh, I must have missed that. I was just focused and dialed in on the proximity, and it's going to be Darius Ostrejka taking the win and going to the finals. So he has a chance for an absolutely perfect event. He has a chance to mirror the success of Marko Rourke in the last race. So he is the first driver who joins us in the final, and unfortunate for Juan, he moves down to the battle for the 3rd place. And let's see who is going to join Darius in the final and who is going to join Juan in the 3rd place battle. Because right now we have our 2nd battle of top 4. We're going to have our number 2 qualifier Vitaly Isayev going up against our own number 3 qualifier Andris Kleinbergs. Let's see, the 888s and the number are going to bring him luck this time around. The tire is already going side to side and lining up. Vitaly is going to be starting in the lead position, and Andris is going to be giving him chase at first. And the lights are green and off they go. Let's see how they do. And a nice smooth initiation with big angle into outer zone 1 from Vitaly, completely filling it, now going through the inside clip. Andris right on the doors of Vitaly, keeping the proximity going into outer zone 3 right now, and wheel to door from Andris there, perfect in the chase position and bumper to bumper transition, just phasing through the rear bumper of Vitaly. Andris is just glued to that door. He wants that final spot. He's there to get it as they cross the finish line. A really good run in the lead from Vitaly, but Andris completely made me ignore that because he put up a hell of a chase run. Look at this. He's right on Vitaly's door all the way throughout the track, and look at the transition after this zone. Andris' bumper just goes clipping through Vitaly's rear bumper, as you see right there. You definitely could not get closer than that. Wow, what a chase run from Andris. Good job. Let's see if Vitaly can put up as great of a chase run himself as well, as they've already lined up on the starting line, ready to go for the second part of this battle. Andris in the lead, Vitaly in the chase. Let's smoke the tires up, and Andris does a big flick into outer zone 1, completely failing it. Vitaly immediately on the door, knows what he has to do, transitioning over for outer zone number 3. Vitaly keeps the proximity going, and a bit of a lag spike going into outer zone 4 now. And into outer zone number 5, Andris still perfect in the lead run, but Vitaly, of course, right in the doors, exactly where he needs to be. He knows what he has to do, and he's up to the task as they're already into outer zone 7. What a run from both drivers. This was a final worthy run. Andris number 2 or 3, don't know. Yeah, really hard to decide for me as well, because Vitaly definitely brought heat to Andris this time around as well. He knew that Andris was extremely close to him in chase, so he did exactly the same, right back at him. You see that he also looked like he even clipped through Andris' rear bumper with his front, transitioning into outer zone number 5, and doesn't let go at all through the touch and go. And the diesel zone is practically non-existent from both of them. You don't really see any of them slowing down at all. They're just door to door throughout every inch of that space between the touch and go and the last outside zone. Great battle indeed, Drift Chat, completely agree. Let's see the replay again. That great chase from Andris and the lead from Vitaly. Now I'm going to try and focus on the lead. That was really good from Vitaly in the inside clip. And now going through outer zone number 4, I think that is. Oh yeah, that is some great job in the lead position as well. Just perfectly timed transitions from Andris though. No steering inputs or whatsoever from Vitaly. He just finds the perfect angle and manages to stay in it without doing anything at all. Just plants the pedal to the metal and goes. And it's a 1 more time from Armans and 2 votes for Andris Kleinberg. So Andris gets the win, gets himself in the final. Congratulations to Andris. Yeah, this was a nail-biter battle, a really close one, you could tell. Definitely not an easy decision for the judges. And now before we decide the winner for today, we're going to have our 3rd place battle. It's going to be Vitaly Isayev, who's our 2nd qualifier, going up against Juan Jorge, who's our 4th qualifier. That is also going to be a heater of battle because of the qualifying results that you just heard. Those guys are pretty high up there. They definitely know how to drive this track to the best of it. Vitaly was insane. Andris also was insane. They were both just insane in that run. Really hard to to give anyone a clear victory there. I'm definitely not envious to the judges there. Okay, let's see. Vitaly is going to be in the lead on the first leg of this battle, and Juan's going to be in the chase. Let's see who takes the third spot, or lowest seat on the podium. And a nice initiation into outer zone 1, completely filled by Vitaly there. Juan immediately gets on the door, understands where he needs to be as they transition over for outer zone 3 already. Juan perfectly mimicking the angle and the line of Vitaly, but Vitaly still keeps the perfect lead run going, allowing Juan just to set it in the pocket and just follow him on exactly the same proximity all the way throughout outer zone 5, the touch and go, and to outer zone 7. That was so smooth from both of them. I once again didn't even see that there is a diesel zone before the last outside zone, because it feels like these drivers just don't really use it as a diesel zone. They just floor right through it. And if they do diesel in any way, they probably just use angled diesel there, and they just know what to expect from each other as well. That is some textbook driving. Exactly want to see what we want to see in the battles that are deciding for the podium positions. Yeah, what a run from both of them. Could it be that Andres is the championship leader right now? Might be. I don't know how many points you get for each position, but we'll see after this is over. But first, let's see Juan in the lead and Vitaly in the chase for the second part of the top 3 battle. And look at Vitaly's proximity. He's way closer to Juan than he was in his chase run, just wheel to door. Oh, and there's some contact, and looks like Juan is way off the line because of the contact. I don't know who was at fault, but now they're going through the outside zone 5, the long zone, already coming up to the touch and go. Vitaly still keeps it on the doors, doesn't let any proximity to develop between them, and across the finish line already. Yeah, I'm really interested in who was at fault for that contact. Let's watch it in the replay. Maybe we can tell what happened there. Look at Vitaly's proximity there already. He was definitely wheel to door already. And here there is a dive, but no contact between them. And here it did look like Juan might have tapped the wall independently and caused Vitaly to crash into him. Or it was desync, might have been desync as well. It's a video game after all, you never know. It did look like he tapped the wall a little bit, but I don't want to jinx it. And the judges are decided. Let's see what they think. Who gets the win? And it's Vitaly Isayev who gets the win unanimously. Congratulations with the third place. His first points on the board for this competition. And it's a third place immediately. That definitely puts him quite up there. At the moment, he sits in 24th in our overall standings now. That gives him 88 points. But now, let's get ready for the final of today. We're going to have Darius Ostreika going up against Andris Kleinbergs, our number 1 versus number 3 qualifiers. And the lights are green and they're off. Darius is starting in the lead and Andris in the chase. And a nice side-by-side initiation. Darius completely filling outer zone 1, but Andris immediately on the doors and the wide transition going for outer zone number 3 now. Andris immediately getting in the pocket of Darius. Wow, just rubbing the tire on his doors, a perfectly timed transition going into outer zone number 5. The long zone, Andris just keeps it on the door all the way throughout the zone, and the touch and go as well, just rubbing wheel to wheel, it looks like a little bit. Now catching up a little bit in outer zone 7, but across the finish line with some great proximity. Good run in the final from both of our drivers here. Let's look at it again in the replay. Andris went more for the wheel-to-wheel approach rather than the wheel-to-door approach. That got him some decent proximity when he didn't really have that much of a basically lateral proximity to begin with. That's how you mimic it better, if you just align wheel-to-wheel, not wheel-to-door, if you really can't get it. Really good job from Darius in the lead though as well. Very smooth and consistent all the way. And let's see what they do in SWAT positions, as we see that Andris is going to be in the lead and Darius is going to be starting his chase run from quite far back. He wants to get all the run in as he possibly can and set himself up right next to Andris immediately on the first line. And 3, 2, 1, and go. And with a big flank initiation, Andris is getting into the first outside zone. Darius, of course, as he had planned, immediately on the doors of Andris as they right now go into outer zone number 3. Andris with smoking tires and a big angle coming through all of it, but Darius right there. A small gap developing between them, between outer zones 3 and 4. Now coming into the long outer zone already, Darius right on the doors, Andris on the perfect lead line as well. A little bit of a gap again, but Darius manages to reels him back in just before the finish line, and great run from both of the drivers again. Maybe not exactly the surgical door-to-door glued to each other precision that we've seen throughout today, but still some very respectable and very competitive runs in the final here. Both drivers put up heaters up against each other. I don't know who to give the victory to be honest. I am definitely not going to call anyone here. Chat, do you think we have a winner here? Do you think we have a solid decision, or is this going to be one more time? We see that the semaphore has already lined up in between the drivers, probably indicating that we do have a score. Because he probably wouldn't move out of his position if he knew that he has to go back to it again, but we never know. So does Darius get the perfect event, or does Andris Kleinbergs get a massive jump in the overall points with this round 4 victory or not? Let's watch it in replay again from Darius' lead run and Andris' chase. Yeah, that was a really well-timed initiation from Andris in the chase there, immediately getting on the doors of Darius here into outer zone 3. He was super close already, but if you look at Darius' lead run, it was also perfect, right on the money, completely filling all of the zones, no corrections whatsoever, just as smooth as you could wish for, just giving Andris the best opportunity possible to put up a stellar chase run. That's what you do in the final. That was definitely a finals worthy run for sure from both of them. Don't forget to join the Discord server if you yourself want a chance to participate in this race, because we do have one more round left in the series. That's going to be in the end of August, the end of October, I'm sorry, somewhere around the 20th of October as well. I don't remember the date from the top of my head, but it's going to be in about a month. Get yourself the DKRTR role in the server and get the cars, go for some practice runs, get used to them. And follow the socials, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see the progress with our real-life drift car. And looks like we have a decision for our final. We're looking at the scorecard and who's taking the win. Are we ready for the big reveal of the winner of this run and this battle? And it's Darius Ostrejka who takes the win with 2 votes for him. One going for an OMT, so it's not a unanimous victory, but it is a victory nonetheless. So congratulations to Darius for an absolutely perfect event. First in the qualifying and first in the race. What a great job from him. Also congratulations to Andris for the 2nd place position. And as we watch them go in a nice big drift train to celebrate the end of this race. Unfortunate though that it comes to an end, because I really liked seeing this. Look at the proximity going on here in the celebration run. That is some wild training right there. And we did see that Moist is joining them with the semaphore as the 4th as well. What a fun. So let's look at the live scoreboard right now. So the points that Andres got for himself in this race puts him second in our current overall standing. So at the moment we've got Arman Svestman is first with 315 points, and closely following is now Andres Kleinbergs with 303 points. So he's definitely in for the competition for the overall first place. All he has to do is do better than Armand in the next race, and he can solidify a first place in there. And third, we have Juan, who is now in third overall with 264 points. Then we have Mark Rourke with 255. And then ending up the top 5 is Matis Slatis with 219 points. So that is quite a separation already. The top drivers are definitely solidifying their spot. But yeah, congratulations to all the drivers for their placings today. For Darius Ostrejka for the absolutely perfect event. That is just wild to see 2 perfect events back to back from him and previously from Marco Rourke. And also congrats for Andres on the second place. Congrats to Vitaly for the third place, and Juan, of course, for the fourth place. What a race. This was great fun as we see them on the podium right now. So we're going to be back with the fifth race of this series in 19th to 20th October. 19th October is going to be the qualifying, and 20th is going to be the tandems. If you want to join in for that, then join our Discord. In the meantime, subscribe to this YouTube channel to get all the updates on our RTRiga real-life street drift car build. That's gotten pretty far in already, and I can tell you that there is a lot of content to come. I've seen the car out on track already, and there's a lot of fun things that happen there, so keep your eyes open. Also, join all the other socials because there's going to be teasers about it coming up there, so if you're really keen to follow that, then definitely give it a go. Thanks to everybody who's been watching and joining us in the chat. It was lovely talking to all of you, and thanks to my brother who joined us for the top 32 part of this race today. And my mouth is already so tired, and I am completely ready to say bye to you and see you in about a month. Thank you all.